looks like a bandit.
You didn't say what half of the face to cover.
Alright, we're technically online. I'm just fixing
That's
some layouts.
true.
Okay.
Because everything got moved over to the side.
That's
mask.
true.
All masks.
She's
Bear
going
with us,
with the
everyone.
COVID mask.
I mean, you could all put like a face mask if you want. That's technically
Like a mask.
Draw. Take eyeliner, just draw.
Right.
right.
I got Daredevil, but that's
Hey.
no, that's
Yeah,
that
that doesn't work.
There
you go. That works. That works.
Yes, let's cover my face to make me harder to hear.
Oh.
you poor thing.
But the doctor said it's just a virus, so there's not really much I could do about it anyways. But that means I'm not contagious. Yay.
Well, actually, are you sure?
That's what my doctor said, and I'd like to
okay.
trust my doctor.
Okay, as long as he said you're not contagious, that's good.
I specifically asked because I was like, I'm supposed to go to a party this weekend, and I want to make sure I'm not going to put everybody in jeopardy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for thinking.
And since I'm still like got a bronchitis-y thing, I'm still going to wear a mask just to keep.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Absolutely.
Totally makes sense.
Alright, we are all set.
Woo!
So sorry about that, everybody. Welcome back to Nerdy Playbook. We're in episode 42. We're all together -1.
Happy birthday, Joe!
Thank you.
Yes,
it was my
happy
birthday.
birthday!
We unfortunately missed last session because there was an incident that happened.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Really not coordinated. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
He's like, man, I want to do the intro.
We are not.
That was loud noise.
We're
Apologize.
horrible. I'm sorry, guys. Don't unsubscribe, please.
So
How horrible
unfortunately,
our
we had
singing.
to miss actually last week's session,
Words.
but a lot of
Yes.
people were excited to watch, so we actually have quite a few people all ready to watch this tonight, so I'm very excited.
Woo!
Also,
Yay.
I'm happy to announce that I was able to succeed 2,000 viewers, followers, and counting. So I want to thank some of my recent ones, Biz Legit, Red Eye, and so on and so forth for your recent follows. It is awesome. Thank you. So we're gonna do a catch up because it's been a little bit.
Yes.
So let me turn out the second here myself. All right. So last things that have happened. The Coliseum battle finished. You guys were able to knock out and remove the mask of essentially who you found out is Beta, and kind of made an agreement with him that a little bit of this, a little bit that for the mask to be fixed and given back to him. And he is offering to help with you to get inside of this grand party that Don is hosting. Very much believing that this is a long shot, that there's no way this can work. He did say that if you're willing to help him with the mask, he can point you in the way of someone who can get you an invite, taking you over to Krios.
Yeah, we went to Krios, and Krios was able to get us in to go to his.
Yep. So Krios. Told you that he can make this work, but you need to go find. You need to go find Tartha, Krios' partner, and essentially, because going over to this venue, it's one thing to have a ticket; it's another thing to have a backstory. And Tartha is the Whisper Queen, therefore she can make up a story, and depending on how you convince her, see how plausible it can actually be done. This is
She or he? I can't remember what or they.
Is it she?
Well, everybody decided to keep changing it. I kept saying he, then other people kept saying she, then other people kept saying they. So I'm just gonna go with she.
Whatever their orientation is, it's okay. Either way.
Essentially telling you that, yeah, Krios can give you the tickets, but you need Tartha to essentially help you get clothing that you cannot afford, since the clothing would be roughly over 100 platinum just for basic styles. and a essentially an alibi of how you're not the people you actually are and how you are of some kind of noble birth or something like that. That's going to sell you as far as being part of this place, since the only people who are allowed are either people who have become so popular in the assassin route that they just get invited to all these different places because they're hired by the most expensive rich dons, or that you're of such noble birth that you get invited to basically every party. So, to move things forward, since we've missed a little bit, we're going to go right over to the group over in the bathhouse with Tartha.
That would be L and me and I think it was Beta. Beta. Yeah.
Yep. I'll let the... I was unable to remember what everybody else was doing. I know... I think people ran some errands.
I wanted to get the money from fighting.
You want to get the money from fighting. Okay. So you would
Yeah.
have to go find Anessa. You unfortunately do not know where she actually works because you never actually got the information
No.
of where she actually...
Place that Kargrim's gonna go is back to the bar where she recruited him, though.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wait,
Anybody
I
else?
heard bar. I'm going with her.
Okay. Bar.
Yep.
Sure, I'll follow along.
Okay. So we'll have one group going to the bar, the other group going to the bathhouse. We'll start off with the bathhouse first. So again, to keep things moving, we're just gonna kind of cut through that. We're gonna go right over to Tartha's office. So, Chris offered you a seat at this big party, and don't get me wrong, I love a fabulous venue, but you're gonna have to convince me how I can actually make this work. I'm willing to offer my, let's say, special skills, but to how much effort I want to put into it is completely up to you.
Well,
you can't just walk in there saying you are who you are. Yeah,
no.
One of you was a contestant. Your face is very well known. I'm sure you can cover it up some way, somehow, but still. Another one, as he points over to Ada, yeah, your mask can definitely help, but realistically, the Don probably has a way of seeing through that ability. And, I'm sure you, as he points over to Fig, I'm sure nobody really knows who you are since you seem to change your form every time I see you. And, Creel's made a point
I
that
haven't
you seem to
changed
look
my
like...
form since they saw me last.
You did a couple times. You changed it once when you tried to approach Krios to pretend that you were
Right,
one of the
but-
soldiers.
But not in front of this character.
I'm not saying that you're changing it in front of him. I'm just saying she can see through it.
Oh, okay.
And you can probably make yourself some physical alibi, but you need a story to go with it. It's one thing to change your look, but it's another thing to have people that say they know you. Another thing to have people that can back up your story, and a little charisma goes a long way. So, how much effort should I put into this?
Question out of character.
Uh-huh.
The ball, how far is the ball away from this?
Okay, so right now, if you're looking at the map, which
We're here.
I mean, like, how many days?
Time.
Oh, the
much
ball
time?
is...
There we
So
go.
right now, it is early daytime. You guys are roughly about 10 in the morning. The ball is actually this same night. It's roughly... So the ball itself starts at 10 p.m. So you guys got essentially 12 hours to have Tartha make you a backstory and somehow get you fine clothes that are equal to the stature that you are being given a story to.
Got it.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna be like, well, from the beautiful decorations and the way and the people that you keep in this bathhouse, I feel like storytelling is your specialty,
That it is.
and that wouldn't it be just, most storytellers love a challenge and love the ability to create backgrounds and create characters to go within their stories. Here's an opportunity for you to create 7 characters. Well, technically 8 characters for your own pleasure.
Oh no.
As she kind of like is twirling her pink hair and just kind of,
And if it helps, I can change into whatever form possible.
It is always helpful to take care of the physical portions of the just clothing, but you got to remember that people know thread counts, people know clothing. As much as you look like you can change your clothing, which is a fabulous ability, it's another thing to physically have something that people can realize. And if I can see through you, they can. So changing your face, all good, but we're gonna still need to put you in something.
Okay.
Give me a persuasion check, Fig.
Sure. Persuasion, you said?
Correct.
Please be good. Please be good. 17?
17. Kind of still twirling a bit of hair. Kind of pulls it back as it kind of springs down.
Does it help that we have a very... how would you... I look at Ella as like, how would you describe NG?
Oh, NG's very friendly, and he gets along with everybody, and he'll have drinks. And ooh, maybe he can be the bartender, and we can get him in like the bartender. And Fig, I have an idea. I'm gonna pull out my new my fire orb thing, and hold it, and be like, everybody likes to know fortunes. I like to know my fortune. I think that would be a thing that the Don would like us to go into, because I have a crystal ball and I can look in the crystal ball and I can pretend that I know people's fortunes and I can tell it to them and they'll pay us and then we can get into the party.
So you want to play the role as a seer?
Yeah. I can do that.
Can you sell that role, or do you just think you got the trinket so it works?
I'm gonna hold up the ball and I'm going to stare off into the distance real intently, which doesn't look real intently for Elle. It just looks like she's having some fit.
Seizure.
Can you imagine like one of those small dogs with eyes facing different directions? Kind of.
Seizure.
And I hold
She's
it in
having
front
a
of me,
seizure.
and I look at her and I say, "Look into the crystal ball."
Okay, I'll fight. Sure, she steps up, kind of, brushes off her hands, and all right, fair enough. Looks into the crystal ball.
Let it peer into your soul. Stare.
Give me a performance check. Give me a performance check.
I can't even do this with a straight face.
Yes.
Right?
6. Okay.
Too much fun.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Perfect.
In your own mind, you don't know if this is working or not. You're kind of still with confidence, but at the time, you can kind of tell that, Tartha's playing along, but it's just kind of like,
Probably thinks you're adorable. That's probably why.
You might need this. You might need to step. I mean, does this orb actually do something, or is it just kind of a fancy orb? I mean, it looks fantastic, but does it actually like see into somebody?
Peers into your soul.
Really? Give me a deception check, because that's not what it does.
I know. Oh, deception, where are you?
Yeah.
I'm good at that. Let's hope.
17.
Natural 1 for a
17.
17.
But a 17.
He looks, it's like, okay. Well, as he kind of like steps back, I'm like, no. Okay, fair enough. Maybe just, I get it. Just, as he kind of like she keeps stepping back, and it's just kind of like almost afraid of you, kind of like if it actually works. Yeah, I mean, just kind of, spruce up the act a little bit. I can definitely make this work.
We also have, a bird man of some sort.
A bird man,
Harvey.
like a human with wings. That'd be fascinating.
Actually,
we can try
he
to do
looks
some
like
kind of like a
no.
creature of the wild kind of thing going on.
He
here.
actually looks truly like a bird, a humanoid bird.
I mean,
So he has arms.
Are you talking about an Aarakocra?
Yeah, sorry, I don't remember the name. What it was, so I would have said the
they're
name.
not uncommon.
Yeah.
Is there something that is there like a trick you can do that like makes him...
Well, he has
doesn't fly.
he has
fly.
a companion. He has a companion that might be very interesting. It's a baby phoenix.
Oh, I mean, phoenixes are very rare. I mean, does
The phoenix is very attached to him, like a father.
Phoenixes usually are. Phoenixes usually attach themselves to one or two, and until they unfortunately decide that they are not worthy of their trust. But I mean, it's I mean, does the phoenix do any tricks? I mean, the one thing that I guess I could maybe sell them as it's like a prize collector of creatures, maybe.
I'm not sure if the phoenix does any tricks. It's definitely adorable, that's for sure, and that's much for me saying because I don't find many things adorable.
Oh, I believe
just
you.
so you know.
I believe you.
So.
Well, I mean, okay, so I can think of something for that. Give me another person in the group.
So we have a tiefling that has been.
I love tieflings. Keep
yes, a tiefling that has been affected by the plague of originally.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. Okay.
Yes, but he is very strong, and I guess I don't actually know if he's strong or not. Like character, me don't know. Like, but and he seems to have. I don't know. What would you say, Elle? I don't really know much more to say about.
I mean,
them.
You seem not to be very informative about this friend of yours. Are you sure you want them in the party with you?
Well,
Well,
he's our friend and he's been through a lot with us and he goes through a lot of fights and he's gotten stabbed a few times and I glare over at Fig, but he's come out of it and he's been a very big help and he's very good with his sword. He could be a master swordsman that's visiting.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, there are a few. There are a few master swordsmen that will be attending. Is he actually really good at the sword?
Well, could be if he tried harder.
Okay. I mean, I can sell it, but if you walk in saying you're a master swordsman, people are gonna expect that you got a little bit of bite with your bark, if you know what I'm saying. And master swordsmen like to show off their skills, even in a party such as this. And when they clash, something happens, and I'd hate to back up a false story. And if your friend is not exactly, let's say, up to par, it might not be so great.
Okay.
Hey.
Now I could sell some of you as just people that are invited, but I can make up a story. If there's some of you that just want to be guests, I got aliases I can give you.
Okay.
I can use Corbin as my sidekick for like magician stuff. So when I'm looking at my orb and it peers into your soul, it can make sparks fly.
And who would do this?
Elle's just sitting here with
doing this.
Sparks fly.
I mean
Dance fingers.
It's true. I guess I've seen seers, and they always have to have some kind of companion. I mean, we could do that. Sure. Anybody else that has something I can work with? And by the way, we can skip Celeste for this, since Celeste is not present.
Oh, I was gonna just say that Celeste was a vampire turned human.
Oh, that's very. Ooh, almost as if.
Gramps is fun when you get him drunk.
But many are, trust me, many are. But that's not necessarily what we're looking for. I don't really want that as a positive factor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I do have something for a dwarf that I could possibly do. I'll tell you what. So Alora and Fig, give me persuasion checks individually.
Okay. Persuasion.
Ooh.
15.
Oh, I sucked.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is. I gotta come up with some wardrobe. I gotta make an alias. I'll figure something out. If you can meet me back here in, say, 8 hours' time, I will
Okay.
come with whatever
There-
magic that I feel deemed reasonable for such an occasion.
And that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. We appreciate your help.
Well, kind of steps up, kind of brushes herself
And-
off.
And I go, before we leave, is there anything that you need from this party that you would like me to acquire?
Well, it maybe, it wouldn't necessarily hurt if you do a favor for me.
Okay.
If there's time. There's an associate of mine that has been a little, let's say, off the wagon. And if you want some help processing this more efficiently, I require their assistance. If you can convince them to get off their ass and get back over here and get to work, it would definitely be helpful.
Where are they?
I would assume in the only tavern in town.
Ah, makes sense. And what's their name?
Kind of whispers as if there's other ears in there. She goes by Kiak. I don't understand why, but Kiak. She's a red tiefling, small little thing, very adorable, but has a habit of partying too hard. And don't get me wrong, I love festivities, but she's becoming quite a handful. If you can convince her to get over and get back to work, that'd be fantastic.
Small like L size or my size?
Probably about your portion. She's probably it kind of like points down to like lower 5 feet.
Okay.
Kind of like using his own height, her own height as an example. Kind of like drops down and kind of gives you an angle of like 5 feet even.
Okay.
Shouldn't be too hard. She just it wouldn't be as long as it's not too much trouble. If you can get over here, she is my assistant, and I will need assistance.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Well, if I definitely, I'm sure I will see them when we, because I believe, well, if I know the rest of our party, that's where they are. So
At this moment, you hear NG across town going, "Bar crawl!"
And does this person have any specific traits or things I need to watch out for when acquiring them?
Not really. I mean, she's not. I mean, if you're worried about harmfulness, I mean, she's not a combatant. I mean, if it's necessary, you could easily just pick her up and just drag her here. She's not going to give too much of a fight at this point. I'm sure she's way too wasted to even walk out of the building. But
Okay.
I would just lean in with a little bit of caution, since she gets a lot of, let's say, attention from many of the folk, and if they see that other people are putting hands on her without permission, they might get a little defensive. Let's just say.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So it would do
Well,
you
thank
better
you.
for her to walk on her own instead of you having to drag her. I wouldn't want you to get in a scuffle, especially when I need you in prime form for what I have set for you.
It's okay. We make a lot of
Fine,
friends.
She makes a lot of friends.
I believe that. I believe that. But you have your task. I have mine. You're on the clock.
All right, we will see you in 8.
I'm gonna whisper to Fig as we're leaving. Try not to be as cranky as you usually are when you meet new people.
Well, then we'll just let you do the talking. I'll be there for the muscle then.
Smile. Smile more.
How about you do the talking and I'll just be the muscle if we need to.
It's the Wednesday Adams broken glass.
Happy muscle.
Huh?
Happy muscle.
Back to the tavern.
Was that a smile?
So
I'll take the smile.
Did I do it?
the group in the tavern, you all are there. It's Riley at this point. It seems like anybody who's not invited to this event are kind of like drinking in rebellion of like, well, I don't want to go there anyway. You know, everybody's just drinking like tall ales at this point. The barkeep is kind of almost like, well, I got quantity, don't need to put out quality. And the ales that are all being passed around for everybody for simple a couple silvers do not have a very friendly smell. They're not pungent offensively too much, but you've definitely had better. It you know, it's not swine. It's a little swill, but
it's gross.
It'll get you where you need to go if you're looking to get drunk, not to have a good drink. Tables are full. You're able to find yourself your own table that could essentially fit 4 chairs. People are singing. It's that late hours at a hole-in-the-wall tavern, midnight, where everybody's just kind of holding on each other and singing some songs that each person's getting wrong. Birthday song and just getting way too drunk.
Love it. I want to try to see if I can find what's her name? Lesna?
What's
Is that it?
You're looking for Anessa.
Nessa, thank you.
You know that person.
The person with the face.
You know,
I think NG wanted to say something too.
Okay.
I want to actually. Who looks like the dumbest person in this tavern?
Give me an investigation check. Give me an investigation check.
Okay, investigation. Actually, I can just. Oh, cool! I can actually do this now.
Yay!
I think. Nope. I need to grab real dice. Hold on.
Standing by.
Real dice.
Okay.
Everybody else, what are you doing inside the tavern? We do not have the other group in yet.
Oh. I guess I'll see what he does first.
Okay.
Oh, he does.
I rolled a 17. By the way,
17.
if that helps.
I
Okay.
mean, given your look around, it is pretty crowded. As far as people being overall stupid, everybody else is kind of on the idiotic side. There are a few people that are kind of standing a little bit more. One is a large, full-bred orc. Tall, big guy. Doesn't have any weapons on, but he has kind of got like 2 large casks that at this point, like, he is like palming in his hands instead of using the handles, and he's just kind of like throwing one up in his air and like just splash all over his face while he's going to another one, you know, yelling at the barkeep. Well, the other one grabs your attention is a small little tiefling that is on top of the table and shaking her ass left and right and grabbing a lot of male and some female attention in both positive and negative ways.
I wanna do something to one of them, so I'm gonna flip a die. Heads is the ogre, tails is the girl.
Okay.
I want to do something with one of them.
I want to do something stupid.
So I did heads, so that's the orc, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I want to flag the waitress down and just tell her that that orc actually bought us all around, and so this is all on his tab.
Okay, deception check.
Fine, I've got advantage on those. And +9. Yeah, 18 + 9, 27.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised he's throwing his gold out left and right. Yeah, sure. And then she kind of like takes the tray that you already got and she just kind of spreads up the ale amongst all of you. Is there anything else I can get you? Just so you know, we're not doing any food right now.
He said he obviously Blotto. But Dude Man didn't even tell us his name. Can you tell me his name just so I can thank him later?
I honestly do not know his name. We don't really. I mean, everybody's just kind of all mixed up right now. He's the only large orc here, and honestly, he's the largest one. So he's not hard to miss if he decides not to pay his tab.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna try to get his attention and do a little cheers across the room at him and see what he does.
Okay. You kind of just like yeah, and he just kind of pours one down. To hell with the Dawn, and he just kind of pours one more down.
This is the pregame before the ball.
Yeah, well, so the people that are at the tavern seem like people that weren't invited, like they are like the
gotcha.
the lowly workers
The
of
rejects.
this town. So they're kind of like drinking just to kind of be like, we really don't want to be invited anyway.
People.
You know, kind of like I didn't want to be invited to the prom anyway, so I'm gonna go out and do my own party.
I don't
Kind
even
of
care.
Peasants. They're the peasants of the thing. No, I'm kidding. The general
There's nothing
population.
wrong with being a peasant.
But he does not even close to notice that, you know, you didn't pay for your own stuff and it was charged to him. There would be no way for him to really notice that. As it seems like the waitress is just kind of like writing down like a tab of like a list of like who's getting what. And you can see that she already went back to a page that was already filled and she added in 4 markings to it.
Okay. Real quick, do I see I want to say Elena. I know that's not.
Anessa.
Anessa. In the bar
You
and all.
can give me a perception check for Anessa.
I rolled a 12.
12.
You're gonna get it eventually, right? It's like your name is Wilson, right? No, it's
It's somewhere in there. I'm actually trying this time, not like the first time where I was like, oh yeah, Amanda.
As you're looking around, it's hard to notice, but you do see a grayish toned tiefling kind of leaning up against the wall. At first, it doesn't grab your attention, but you do notice that that she is wielding a long sword that's very iconic for her, and you do notice Anessa kind of hanging out back in the corner, not like being antisocial, but kind of almost just kind of like, I'm not going to just hang around the crowd while I'm holding a big sword, so I'm just going to hang out here, and then almost kind of like other people come to talk to her instead of her go to talk to other people. But she's chatting up a few patrons. They're kind of having a fun time. She's got a giant ale in her hand.
Excellent. I will make my way over to her.
Okay.
I don't know if NG and Hal have anything else they want to do before I go off on that.
I thought of something.
Okay.
I would like to go, I guess, ask around the bar if they have seen Darvin or Killick the Wizard at all.
Darvin or Killick the Wizard?
Yep, I think that's what the name of the wizard that I was looking for like my Underdark mission.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you asking around, or are you just trying to listen to see if anybody's talking about that?
Asking around.
Okay. It'll take you some time to kind of like bring it up to several people since everybody's just kind of in a conversation. But you can give me just roll a d20 and add your persuasion, add your proficiency bonus to it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I had empty my dice.
Nice.
Clinkety clink clink.
You have too many dice. That means you don't have enough.
Right. Not as nearly as much as you do hit. Right. And then
I
so
don't have
that
a
was
problem. I can quit whenever I want.
So that was my dice roll plus what?
Denial.
Your proficiency bonus, which I believe everybody's right now is a +5.
Yes.
Yes.
So 15.
15. All right, so I'll come back to you because it's gonna take you a little while because you're gonna have to kind of go between different patrons. But we'll come back to you. NG.
Okay, well, since I realized that I could get gold off of this orc guy,
Oh, jeez.
Exploitation.
No. I'm not gonna try to burn all my bridges because I know I can go back to him later. So I'm gonna go to the Tiefling girl because Tiefling girl was the other stupid one, and so we'll see what I can get off of her now. So, is she dancing? Is she just being flirted with? What's she doing?
No, she's on top of a table, like literally like cowdy ugly dancing kind of like that on top of the table.
Oh my god.
And
Hell no,
She
H2O.
getting her dance
Oh,
on.
no.
Okay. So NG would like to actually like start like get his drink out and be like, woo, yeah, and get up on a neighboring table and try to start like dance fighting with her on 2 different tables to see who can outbreak dance each other.
okay, all right. See,
Dance battle.
so you get on like one of the few extra tables that no one's really focused on right now, and you kind of grab her attention and you start kind of showing her that you're up for a battle. Give me a performance check.
What do I do with performance? Oh, cool. I have advantage on that too. That's good for me.
I'm gonna try to get Kargrim's attention and just be like, do you see what's happening right now?
Kargrim's going to watch.
25.
25.
Kargrim has other things he needs to worry about.
Okay.
As far as performance, you already got kind of in the bag. She's not really necessarily selling on the fact that she's a good dancer. She's selling on more or less just sex appeal, in that she's just kind of doing simple moves that just none of the patrons really care about how good she's doing it. It's how she looks while she's doing it. So we're just gonna give her a charisma check. Which she's not really doing too great right now. She's kind of losing it.
Oh.
Alcohol is kind of grabbing it to her attention. And at this point, she just kind of sees that like you're out playing her. She just kind of gives up and she's just like, fine, whatever. As she starts like slowly kneeling down, like she's afraid to fall on the table, and everybody's like, boo! Everybody just kind of like all upset that she's not still up on there, and everybody just kind of moseys away and just kind of cares as she slowly, like if you're super drunk, even so much as like getting off the bar stool is the challenge. She's trying to like kneel down very slowly while she's standing up on top of a rickety table, and like,
boy.
It's not going great for her.
He's a sloppy drunk.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm not even drunk yet. I've probably just not even had. So I'm like gonna like try to suavely let it go over there and kind of help her down with consent.
Okay.
Offer a handout, madame.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
well-
like, hey, no hard feelings, dude.
It kind of like looks at you funny, and it looks like she's trying to say words, but they're kind of coming out muddled, and you can't understand what she's saying.
You took her breath away.
Like one eye is kind of being lazy.
It's
while
more
the
the
other side's
alcohol
looking
took
at you.
the breath away.
We're gonna come back to you, Kargrim. As you start making your way as a beeline straight over to Anessa, at that point Anessa sees you as she just kind of yells out, not so much to grab all the crowd's attention, but just enough to like kind of like do like a battle roar. Ah, my champion!
Aha!
Bravo! Come!
Excellent. Yes.
Very, very good. I definitely made my wages in full with you, but we didn't get as far as we wanted. You know, it turned into a 3-way battle. Was not what I betted on, but you do get your share. First
Excellent.
off, a drink. As she immediately just kind of grabs one out of someone else's hand and just kind of like pushes them away from the handle,
Awesome. Kargrim's
passes
gonna
it to
slam
you.
Wait, no, cheers and then
Yep.
chug. Cheers and chug.
Immediately,
Yes.
just like to the
Chug.
currency in the pocket and the ones we can steal from everyone else, and it just immediately starts chugging and trying to actually do just full chug, like it just goes all the way down in one shot for her, as if this is not the first time that
I gotta
she's
steal that.
she immediately just kind of like just throws it down very, very Thor style and just kind of wipes off her face. Kind of wraps her arm. She kind of like leans down, wraps her arm around your shoulder. You're a good guy. You're a good guy.
Thank you, Anassa. Hey, sorry about giving you a hard time earlier with your name. I just like to you balls. You know how.
That's
Yeah, no.
that's all right. I forgot who you are. It's
okay.
fine.
Hey, can I get my money though?
Your money. Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. Right. Your money. Correct. What was it again?
Yeah, so, I believe you said 100 gold.
100 gold. Right.
Was it plat? No.
Ooh. Give me a deception check. Give me a
Oh,
deception
now that I
check.
say it out loud, I feel like it must be plat. No.
Oh. Give me a deception check. 16. Oh, you're right. You're right. It must be. I mean, you did so good. Did so good. But I do remember that I have to take some finder's fees out. So I believe I give you 25% of the earnings. So that's I believe that's 25 platinum for you. Kind of goes behind her cloak. Kind of pulls out kind of like a spot that'd be in a backpack, a very large bag. Drops on the counter as you can immediately feel like a shake as she drops it down. Kind of like digs her hand in there like it's almost like a bag of holding. Where is it?
I love it.
Got it!
His hand is out expectantly, like yes, yes.
Like immediately eyes anime wide open, like got it! Immediately pulls out like this bag. As immediately she pulls it out, she doesn't notice that like a few gold kind of like flies out of it behind her as a few patrons immediately try to grab it. Kind of like shakes it, toss it to you. I think this is good. As she immediately closes up the bag and then puts it back. I'm sure you don't have to count it. I'm sure there's plenty in there, but wraps her arm back around you. You're a good guy. Good guy. And we need to do this again.
You too. You're not too bad yourself. Another round?
Yes.
Another round?
Yes.
Another round.
Yes.
Let's do
Another round. Another round. Yes. As she immediately looks at two patrons and like, oh crap, as she immediately grabs them, pulls up their beers, and immediately just shoves them away from the beers. Immediately just throws it right at your chest, hoping you'll grab it. As someone kind of like splashes out, she immediately just smashes yours without even ready for you to cheers. To your health, whoever you are, and immediately just starts chugging it some more.
All right.
I would like to
Carver's
imagine
gonna
that
chug
Corbin.
his and then immediately turn around and open up the purse to see what's in it.
Okay, so you look inside the
Corbin's
purse.
just face foaming in the back, like, oh Jesus, here we go again.
With a quick look, because you don't really have anywhere to really put it down to count, you can clearly see that there's more than 25 platinum in here. There's some copper, there's some gold. You can clearly feel the weight is pretty damn heavy. You can see there's a single gem of some kind in there. Looks like blue in tint, but you clearly got more than what your
Bargain
earning
for.
was.
Is there like a way that I can keep it like in my like chest piece so that way it can't be.
I mean, your armor is a little bit looser than it's supposed to be, so you could essentially like tie it to like the shoulder strap and just have it hanging inside your actual armor piece. You could do that.
Okay, yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay. To put in perspective, the weight of this bag is roughly about 2 pounds. A gold piece, like for 25 platinum pieces, would probably be a pound by itself. So, yeah, there's some weight to it. I mean, it's not like anything can't handle, but it's clearly you've been able to take advantage of the fact that she is way over intoxicated.
Love it. Excellent.
Back to we're gonna switch back to the group that is entering the bar. So Allura, Fig, and Ada, as you enter the tavern, you are surprised to see that it is just loud as can be. Immediately, if you're not really used to being in taverns, it is an earful. Way too many sounds to really kind of taken into your thieves assassin kind of style. It'd be really hard to do your job here if you were trying to take information, because it's really hard to really focus on someone's individual talking point.
We see NG dancing on the table.
You see NG helping somebody on the table. Like, clearly NG is, like, assisting somebody. From this angle, because of the way NG's curved, you can't tell who it is, but clearly NG's assisting, like, some littler person than NG. In some way, it clearly looks like NG maybe is helping someone up or just helping them from some kind of incident. You do see Hal, since Hal is the only Aarakocra here, so the wings really do stand out. You don't really have a sight for Cargrim, just due to Cargrim's size, kind of hidden in the crowd. So, what would you two like to do? And This kind of have Ada just kind of passively walk with you. Just kind of like, I guess we gotta find this tiefling. I think it should definitely help if we want to procure the most efficient alibi.
I'll do it. I get on my back so you can see above the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. I just like pick them up and put them on my shoulders.
Okay. So all of a sudden you see a very like. Are you in your male form or your female form?
I'm in the male form.
Okay, so you see very much like a daddy putting their little girl on top of the. All right, let's go for piggyback ride. And
So this is what you see. Being tall is awesome.
I'm not that much taller than
Right.
you, remember?
Alora, give
on
me a
your
perception
shoulders.
check.
Shoulders a giant.
20. You are able to quickly point out a few things. One, you can see where Cargrim is. Cargrim is in the opposite corner from you, talking to. You never met this person, but one of the lords of the area. You're able to clock specifically not only where NG is, but NG is talking to someone that really matches who you are told to find. And just like before, you do have a better spot of clocking Hal at this point.
Yeah, because I stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Fig's head between my hands and move her head so that she's looking over at, and she can say, that way!
Their head.
Which way you're
Right,
pointing?
their head, yes.
Okay. Be like-
Whichever way NG is, I'm just
Okay,
gonna, like,
so you're
move
pointing
them
like a
and
little
their
bit
head
like
around.
from you, it'd be like your 10 o'clock. So like a little bit forward and a little bit to the left.
Oh.
I'm just gonna start walking
Okay.
as
so
soon as I see that it's NG.
I'm
So you-
gonna pat you on the head, like, good job.
you make your way over, and you just notice that you're helping this little tiefling out. You just happen to see, Fig in their male version just piggyback riding Alora as they just happen to be just
Well,
coming straight.
Elle
for you.
is piggyback riding me, not
Well,
me
like, yeah,
piggyback
right,
riding
yeah.
her. That would be a feat.
Okay, I got a question, DM.
Yeah.
How coherent is this girl's ability to communicate at this point?
There's
Like,
like
how
every
messy is
few
she?
words are understandable. It's very slurred. It's not like terrible to understand, but it's a mixture of her words again slurred plus the place is way too loud. Maybe if you got her outside where it's quiet, you could maybe get something in her and she could be a lot more coherent.
I got one better actually. So I'm gonna find whatever cup she was drinking out of, and like I'm actually just gonna first off be like, don't overreact here, and I'm gonna dump it out. Like, I got something better for you, and I'm gonna pour my drink into hers because I don't know if she's been roofied, and I don't want any of that up in here. Come on.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna use prestidigitation, 2 of my 3 multiple instances of prestidigitation that I can use at one time.
Okay.
One to make my wine warmer because I think I'm having wine. I guess
Okay.
I decided. But also to have it taste sort of coffee-like, so that she can placebo effect think that she's sobering up. Maybe
Okay.
that will help.
Okay.
I mean, like you gotta take it easy there, dude. Come on.
You're like, what?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
this is gross. What are you
It's
giving
coffee.
me?
It'll help. It's coffee. It's coffee.
Warm wine.
It's hard.
Like it's like
Don't
it's like a
hurl.
child taking medicine. Like they know it's good for them, but they don't want it.
Honey, what's your name? Honey, what's your name?
What's your name?
Okay. My name you won't remember in the morning, so you can just call me Milo.
Milo, you're a good guy. You
You
know
can
Milo.
pick any
Milo,
name
you
and
know
that's
Milo.
I like the originality though.
I do like it.
Milo. And it just kind of slams her face on the ground, and she just kind of passes out.
Oh,
Okay.
did she just pass out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there goes.
Am I there
Benji
now?
killed
Did
her.
she pass? Did she pass? Like, are
Yeah,
we
I mean,
there
like,
yet?
you would have seen like that last interaction.
Okay, I'm just gonna pick them up.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
the girl needs. Whoever
Yeah.
is having a little bit too much fun. Get
We're gonna bring her outside while I still have Elle on my back. I'm just gonna pick up the child.
Okay.
Swole.
I'm gonna pull her head like, yep, it's her.
And just like, well, we need to deliver them back to the bathhouse. Their actual employee and their employer actually wants them back. So.
This seems like it's her night off. Do we really want to do that?
Actually, it's not her night off. She was supposed to report to work.
He played hooky. Oh, I love this girl even more. She's a mess.
Yeah. Well, and if we and I would come here, come closer. And I whisper to him, if we actually get her back to the bathhouse, the owner of the bathhouse is going to help us get into this party.
Oh, perfect. I've got a great idea then. Because it's gonna be easier than carrying her. So, because I'm gonna use the shit out of this spell because it's awesome, I'm gonna prestidigitation an odd odor of smelling salts in front of her nose to get her to wake the fuck up.
Okay. All right. So you put this pungent odor right in front of us.
It's been easier to deliver
She just starts puking as
unconscious.
soon as she wakes up.
No.
Do it.
Please
Do
no.
it.
Just let it out. Let it out. Let it out.
Don't
Not
be
in
your
the
shoes.
bar.
No, it's just on the floor. It's not
just
like it
like-
got on me. It got on you,
And
maybe. I
between
don't know.
speech, she's like, Milo, why are you doing this to me? Ugh.
We got. No,
Elf.
you're gonna feel better.
Elle's
Just
sitting on top of it, going, "Oop."
Turn.
okay. I got
Get
one
up.
final thing. I'm gonna get out my little wallet, little satchel thing.
Uh,
And because I can just keep prestidigitating as long as the other ones go away, I'm gonna kind of crack it open and have a, what does it say? It says an illusory image that can fit in my hand that lasts until the end of my next turn. So I'm just gonna crack it open and be like, party police, you've gone too far. Time to sober up.
okay.
And you're the police. Oh my god.
Weird how that actually works.
She just looks at you like, Milo, you funny guy. Ah!
Yep, just let it out. Let it out.
I just grab, like, because I have her, I'm going to just shift her to one hand and then grab a bowl that's on the table and just give it to her.
Oh, no.
I'm just kind of patting her on the back from Pig's shoulders.
And I'm
telling
going
Pig,
to turn
"It's okay,
around.
okay."
I'm going to turn around and just, and I'm going to turn around and just start walking out the door.
Well, I'm gonna actually be because this chick seems like she's in good hands. You know, there's more responsible people than me with her, which is not saying much because I'm not responsible. But I'm like, okay, red tiefling, I'm gonna leave you in their hands. Party police, Milo out. I'm gonna go walking towards the orc now.
Okay.
Wrecked one person's night. Now to the next.
I love it.
All right. So as the group is progressing on, the group that's carrying her, are you guys going to do anything else? Or are you guys just going to make her...
No, I'm just going to take her outside because obviously if she's throwing up, let's,
Yep, she's
like,
geysering.
let's
Yeah.
getting her out of
At this point,
outside.
it's mostly out of her system. She's just at this point just kind of like... Her face is
Holding
all
the bowl
pale,
in her
and
hand,
she's
like,
just,
"Ugh."
she's like cradling the bowl. She's like... you know, like it's just
It's so, I just look at her and it's like,
Oh,
it's
no.
while she's in my arms, like, it's okay. We'll take you to get better. Don't worry.
Well, been there, honey.
Yep.
Time to clock in.
as
Has the
like
goblin child
she's like-
been
Too real, too real.
she immediately looks at you and she's
He
just
is
like
not a
ah, and she just freaks out. She immediately accidentally casts Hellish Rebuke on you.
Well, that's okay, because I don't think it does anything to me if I remember right.
You mean the fire?
Nope. Sorry. I
Alright,
thought
I need you
it
to make
was
me a
something else.
dexterity saving throw with
Wait.
advantage.
Actually, wait. I have hellish rebuke myself because of the fact that I read that tiefling book.
Right, but you don't have a resistance against health.
No, I don't. So, okay, what do I have to do?
Give me a
Dex.
dexterity saving check.
Okay.
What would I have to do? Because I'm on
11?
their shoulders.
Yeah, you would have to make a dexterity saving check too.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
Jump off.
25.
That
25.
backflip, just like.
All right.
I just
so,
Wait.
so Fig, as she immediately just kind of like looks like she's so sorry while she's in the middle of it, you immediately get recoiled back with a little bit of blast of pretty weak fire damage. You only take 8 points of fire damage.
Okay.
As Alora, as you take a little bit of it, as you immediately just kind of like feel like the flames kind of like brush past you, you only take 4 points of fire damage.
I just look at it's.
She's like,
I look
I'm
at
so
her.
sorry.
I understand. It's a good defensive method, but it's okay. You're fine. We're gonna bring you to the bathhouse, okay? And I can fix you up. All right?
Yeah,
Bill's
take me
brushing the
home.
fire off, and he
Okay.
takes her by the shoulders and goes, "Pull yourself together, girl."
I'm just gonna so then I put once we get outside, I'm just gonna put them down for a second, and then I'm gonna help Elle off,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna like you know how like when you're helping your drunk friend through the streets home,
Yeah.
just to that's what I'm gonna do, and we're just
Okay.
gonna go back towards the bathhouse.
Okay.
We're gonna make this
Long
quick.
Okay, you guys
stumble,
have no
long
problem getting her back.
stumble.
At this point, she's got most of it out of her system. As you do make it back to the bathhouse, there's already an attendant waiting for you. Oh, thank God you found her. Quick, as they start having attendees open up the door to you to Tartha's office. Is Tartha. You can kind of see Tartha's kind of like rolling off different pieces of silk and satin and trying to throw stuff together. As it almost looks like very magical, as like almost like there's
Mhm.
spectral mannequins kind of sitting there as they're kind of like wrapping over, and you can see that the mannequins are, one looks like it's shaped kind of like Engie minus the horns, as another one is shaped pretty similar to Hal due to the wingspan, like it's cutting off some spots in the back,
Mm-hmm.
throwing up some different pieces. Oh good, quick, throw her on the couch.
Okay, and I just put her on the couch.
As she immediately just puts down her arms, as the mannequins just kind of just like full up there, just kind of like watching as their heads just kind of fall by. And he's like, "Thank you." Kind of like looks
I think she puked it all over her system.
I'm glad
pretty
you
much-
didn't bring in here. And he kind of like presses her cheek. My sweet girl, you've had a rough night. As immediately changes tones, immediately just smacks her in the face. Now wake the hell up!
I was like,
No
"Oh,
rest."
rough."
And she's like, what the?
Oh,
Oh crap! Yeah. Immediately pulls her by the what little fabric she's got at her neck and kind of lifts her up. If you want to feel any better, you need to focus and get ready to work. Yeah. Whatever you need, boss. All right. Just kind of like, so it's like slaps the hands together, kind of mishmashes some stuff, and then just magically appears like this little teacup. And just kind of passes it to her hands, and she just kind of, she kind of like looks at her with direct beady eyes. It's like immediately just starts chugging down what looks like the steamy out liquid. As immediately she just kind of closes her eyes, and immediately, like as if she was never drunk, immediately just wakes up. All right, to work. As she just kind of springs back up with like color back to her face.
I look at the one lady and be like, would you happen to be able to help us out? And I showed like whatever little tiny singe is on me. She kind of hellish rebuked us
I apologize.
a little bit.
As she takes
It wasn't bad.
one hand
It wasn't
on Fig,
bad,
the other
but
one on Laura, as it almost looks like a lay on hands, but it's mending your outfits. As you slowly
okay.
see tears and burns just erase from themselves as they go back to what your outfit basically was at the beginning of creation, of when it was first
Okay.
made and sold to you.
Okay.
Well, I believe that should give us enough time to make something decent. If any of you have any specific names you want to go by, think about them so I can cast a spell. We still got another few hours before I have to have these ready, so take some time. You group figure out what names you want to have as your alias, and come on back and we will see what we have ready for you. I believe I have
thank you.
something set up. I believe, let's see, the goblin and the friend of yours is going to be the seer and the assistant. We have, I believe you said that you want your Aarakocra just to be a guest. I believe you said that your tiefling friend is going to be a bartender. We'll do that. I believe everything else will be all set in order. Now for yourself, as he points over to Fig, and it's not unheard of that the challengers actually appear at these things. Do you want to appear as maybe one of the challengers? I don't know if necessarily they would be welcome. I don't want her to be showing up, as he points over to Alora, just because she was also invited by myself and Krios. So it'd be kind of weird if I make an alibi for someone that was actually endorsed for the fight. Otherwise, you tell me what you want to look like, and I can make you an outfit.
It's been a while since I've been. Well, what would you think would be the most unexpected, and not bring too much attention to?
Unfortunately, at these parties, creating more attention is kind of what's going to get you least notice if it makes any sense. You're going to want something bold.
Okay.
Nobility will probably get you more ease of access without getting harassed, just because everybody's noble there. So,
Well, I
then why make it
once-
so special?
And then I kind of smirk and I go, well, I once impersonated a prince before.
Okay. Well, you and your friends think up some names and come back to me, and we'll have everything else set.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Elle, we're gonna go back to the tavern because we need to collect our friends.
And we need to tell them what they're going to do.
So, for the people
Yep.
who went back in the tavern, what are you doing?
I got something.
Is there
Yes,
any
you do.
follow-up on the thing I did with trying to find out anything about Darvin or Trevor?
For that, you found a couple things out. One is Darvin, who is the transporter, who is the illegal importer exporter. No one has seen Darvin in roughly about 10 days. Let me think, because it's this day. I'm sorry, 9 days. And the last time someone saw was they made a trade with Darvin, pretty close to what is called Hell's Manor. They weren't really saying what they were trading with or what they were trading for, but they know that they made a trade pretty close to Hell's Manor, and they make a point of saying Hell's Manor as if everybody in town should know what Hell's Manor is.
Okay.
As far as the mage, a couple people kind of why are you looking for them? A couple other people kind of make a point. It's oh, you're looking for, are you looking to join the cult of the following, of the fallen? Kind of thinking that oh, if you're asking for that person, you must be someone who wants to join.
Okay. All right.
So that's pretty
I'll
much what you
pretend. Okay. Fair enough.
All right, so NG.
Well, after going back inside, after helping Fig and Elle get my tiefling friend off, I'm gonna go right for the orc, the dumb-looking orc.
Okay.
I want to go up to him and I want to start a conversation with him.
Okay. At this point, he's just kind of just talking to a few people, stopping, talking to a few people. He does see you coming. You're an interesting look. Kind of points it, kind of stops conversation. Oh, you're an interesting looking one.
Oh, big boy, I'm taken. Don't even try. Don't even try.
Ah, this guy kind of like pushes one guy over.
Like
This
himself.
guy, yeah.
No, my name is Milo. I'm a party police.
Party police.
Yeah, I see. I've got a badge. See?
What are you doing?
I've heard rumors that there are people putting drinks on other people's tabs, and I want to look out into.
Well, that's
the
not
crowd.
good.
Who's the toughest looking person besides our party members out in the bar?
Well, I'm the toughest person here. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
No, but I mean, no. As NG, who looks tough out there besides the orc guy?
Give me an investigation check.
Bargrum.
Besides our party, I said besides our party because I don't want to hurt him. All right. Investigation.
Yeah.
18.
Most people in here don't have any weapons on them, with the exception of Nessa. As far as dangerous and intimidating, Nessa would be the top of the lot, especially since she's the only one that has weapon, and it is quite intimidating as it is.
Okay.
As far as
her
the only other
coming
person
up.
that is kind of like the orc that's intimidating without any weapons is there seems to be like an elf that, you know, is a little bit more bulky for an elven stature. Kind of minding their own business, but you know, silver hair tied up in a bun, kind of got like a scraggly beard, especially for an elven style. Kind of scratched up, kind of looks like more of a brawler type. Looks like specifically like people just know just not to fuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it.
Okay, so I'm gonna be like, that guy. You see Silverbeard over there? He was saying that you look so stupid, and he was putting all of his friends' drinks on your tab. I saw it.
No, that can't be right. He's a good guy.
I saw he was
He's a
talking to
good
the
guy.
guy next to him, and he was saying, "This guy's so stupid, he'll believe anything. Watch this. He'll even think I'm a good guy." I heard him say it.
Hey, give me a deception check.
And then I did because I get that.
I got it. I'm gonna start a bar brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm
I-
out here trying to have a good time.
All right.
Yep.
Deception
Yeah.
is a 22.
Okay. So he's like, but he was so nice. He was so nice to me. Why is everybody as nice to me always a jerk? Yeah. And he just immediately just slams on his mug, and he just like immediately pushes you out of the way as he starts stomping towards the elf.
Oh god.
As you can't really hear exactly what's going on because everybody else talking, but he starts like pushing him, and you can kind of assume that it's kind of like, hey, I heard you said I was stupid, and he kind of like is looking like stupid in the process, so it's kind of like, you know, not really working in his favor. As the elven guy is just kind of like mind his own business. And it kind of escalates a little too far too quickly. You're just kind of like, all right. And all of a sudden the elven just like out of nowhere just randomly summons like 2 spectral daggers and immediately puts them to his neck. And just kind of like immediately goes quiet.
Whole bar.
A whole bar. And a barkeep is just like, look guys, I don't need any of this. Take it outside. Don't want any mess. Just take it outside. As the
Are they
elf
going
is just
outside?
like, yeah, you want it? You want to take this outside, man? You want to take this outside, man? As they immediately they start walking out to like a side door, as like some people are like, oh crap, we gotta check this out. As they all start kind of like half the crowd starts like pouring through the doors or kind of like watch this as like some people are like, move out of the way, we got a brawl going on. It's like some people are kind of like getting the whole thing set up as like a mini little arena being set up like 10 by 10.
I'm just protecting the O's at this point. Don't.
Excellent.
I'm so happy.
Wow,
But
Angie,
it
way to
kind of
go.
turns into
Way
like a
to
slap
go.
fest as immediately the big guy's like throwing punches as this guy like moves swiftly, kind of like dodging him. He's like, come on, man. You don't need to do
That's
this.
stupid.
And he immediately just goes in there and he immediately just kind of like takes him out with one hand as he kind of like almost kind of like chops back his neck as he just kind of gets knocked out with one hit.
Oh, poor guy.
Glad we didn't put bets on this.
Same. We didn't put bets on this? Damn it. Why didn't
know.
we put bets on this?
Right? I thought about it. I'm like, if Elle were here, she would do that.
As you
But-
kind of hear
Hell
some
yeah.
people whispering, it's like, that's what he gets with messing with him. You don't mess with him, man. You don't mess with him. It's why nobody touches him. Just no one does it.
So the orc is out flat now.
Yeah, he's out flat.
All right, I'm gonna go up to make it look like I'm helping him up, but really I'm picking his pockets.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check with disadvantage because a lot of people are watching.
This poor
You are
orc.
such a
Yeah.
troublemaker.
You set him up to fail.
I know.
Oh my god, I rolled a 16 and an 18, so I got 16.
Okay, so as you are like, you happen to kind of like lift up like his shoulder, kind of like wedging yourself between his armpit. As you're like trying to like pretend like you lift up the torso, you kind of like slide your hand inside like his shirt pocket, kind of grabbing some stuff. You're able to slip out a few until the 3 small bags. You quick put them in. Do you help him carry it in, or you just kind of like, oh no, and you kind of put him back down?
No, I help carrying him in. I want
Okay,
to make it look like
so you
I'm
carry him in. In the process, you're able to grab 3 bags in the process. You don't know what's inside, but you quick like, all right, I'll grab what I can while I can. And you're able to snag 3 bags that are roughly light, but he has been actually spending a lot of money in there, so he could have actually lost a lot. And who knows if someone pickpocketed him earlier.
Did he close out his tab too? 'Cause high people.
So to move things forward, because we're really running out of time here. You're able to collect. Let's see, for each bag. Depending on this, let's see. Okay, give me. Just roll me a d20 and add and then +5.
8.
Okay, so you make yourself 9 gold,
Woo.
8 silver,
Oh, okay.
and 10 copper.
Okay. 9 gold, 8 silver, 10 copper. Cool.
Was it worth it?
The entertainment was worth it.
Alright, fair enough.
As you guys are all together at this point, I'm assuming someone went. I think you guys went back to go get them.
Yes, we went to go get them.
Did you come back at the right time to see the orc?
I don't know, did we?
The brawl.
You guys would have kind of like seen like, you kind of wondered why there was a whole crowd outside, and you would have kind of seen like at the end like a larger elf just kind of take down like this giant of an orc that you would have seen earlier, and kind of dumbfounded at what happened.
And then I look at Elle and be like, that's why you don't fuck with elves.
Man, we could have watched this entire time and we missed it. It would have been an awesome fight.
Mm. We should probably collect the people.
While we're getting ourselves together, I will tell Fig about Dorvin about the
You mean Darvin?
Darvin. Sorry, getting there.
Yeah, they're
About the
language.
there was a trade made 9 days ago. That was last time like people seen them, and it was at Hell's Manor.
Okay. That's very good information. That's my way of giving you a compliment. That's the only thing you're gonna get out of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Fig.
It's a way of saying good job.
I contributed.
So to save
let
time,
me just abbreviate. Like, you know.
so to save time, we don't really have time for you guys to make up names for yourselves. We're just going to assume that your names
Right.
are good aliases. You guys are able to reconvene, and in a movement of motion, you guys have to head back over to Tartha. As you guys get there,
Mhm.
immediately the whole place is closed down as the front room is available for you. As you see, almost oddly enough, like spectral clones of yourselves all stand there as mobile mannequins,
Interesting.
each wearing the
That's a
outfit that
handsome
you would be
man.
wearing. As a description, you can all tell me one at a time. We're going to start off with Fig, and I'm going to go in order as I see what your outfit is going to be.
Oh no, let me get to. Ask someone else. I'm trying to get to the pictures again. Sorry.
Quick question.
It's
Yeah.
Do suits exist, or would it be more like a cloak situation?
No, suits do exist. So they're just made out of. They're going to be more out of a thicker material. But yes, suits do exist. They'll be more kind of closer to like a Victorian style.
Excellent.
Okay, I found my picture if you want me to go.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So it is very much a three-piece like suit, but the jacket is a long jacket. It is ornate and it has crested buttons on the sides with the like fancy flat. I don't know what they're called. You know, hun, what they're called.
Shawl.
Well, the where like the suit has the buttons that it has a different color of the fabric as it goes down the side.
Got it. Okay.
And then it has cuffs that also have the different fabric, and the actual collar is an higher up collar, but it has the same fabric. And everything else wise is detailed in black. But the fabric pieces that are ornate are actually more like golden woven, and they have a paisley design on them. And then I would have shoes that would be appropriate with it. And then my mask is actually a golden full mask that covers most of my face.
Okay.
With like a diamond pattern on it.
Okay.
But it's very much looks like one of those I look like I am royalty, but in black and gold.
Got it. Okay. Next up, Alora.
Mine is almost a full-length coat. It's very form-fitted. It's black with silver embroidery. The bottom half of it is kind of open in the front. The back half almost looks like a dress, but I have black leggings or black pants, tight pants on
Okay.
underneath with tall boots with silver buckles and embroidery on them. Very easy to hide knives in.
Okay.
Same with the jacket. um, my mask is bird-like. It's almost like a crow with feathers coming out of the sides
Okay.
and ringed with silver right around the eyes and a little detail up.
NG.
So NG is wearing a head to tail, no pun intended, being half team. It was
Ayo.
Red silk. I mean, we would call it a kimono because we're Westerners. We don't know any better, but it's a more formal Chinese garb, but that's kind of double breasted in front, and then it has kind of a red cape in back, but it's got black X accents all over the place. So for instance, even though the outside of the cape in the back is red, it's black on the inside. And it's got black stitching kind of up and down here and up and down here of just various foliage and some animals. And then it's also got some stitching on the back that if you actually look closely, it's got portraits of my entire family. So it's got kind of an Asimar family on the back, but you have to get really close to see it. And then he'll have his hair tied back and down, just very straight laced, because he's going to be a bartender, and so his sleeves are also going to be rolled up. And he's going to have a half mask, but instead of the like the regular masquerade mask, it's going to be like Phantom of the Opera side, and it's going to be like half of a Japanese kabuki mask. So you can see one half of his face doing kind of like traditional theater, and the other half is how he can express himself.
Okay.
Ew.
Nice.
Corbin.
Okay, I will try and make this as descriptive and brief as possible so I can save my vocal cords. So he's kind of got a long sleeve, like almost ivory-esque, like poofier shirt that kind of tapers at the sleeves. A blue, like I guess like suit sweater vest. I'm going for like more like Interview with the Vampire kind of like you know, like Louis, like when he has the suit jacket or whatever that he's got going on. And then like I said, the puffy sleeves. Just plain black pants. Like I said, the shirt and the shirt is blue, and then the long sleeve is like more of an ivory to complement the red skin. And then his mask is just a regular, it looks like a regular silver-plated tiefling mask, but it splits off down the middle. So instead of like taking it off like a normal masquerade mask, you split it down the middle. And one eye in the mask is blue, and then the other one is just he's going to take off his eye patch, so it's just hollow underneath. So it looks like black. It looks like a black void, but yep, that's basically it.
Okay.
Creepy. I love it.
Yep.
Hal.
All right, let's give it the college try. So
If I could do it, you could do it.
that's right. I will do I will have a red, it's like suit coat. It's like a royal, like dark red, and with a black suit coat and pants underneath. And then Hal has a hard time hiding his face because he's a bird person. So he'll just
Weird.
have like something, just like a simple mask across his eyes, and then maybe just like a simple elegant collar for Eos to go with
Okay.
it. I guess it would be a good thing to say that my coat is fireproof, so or
Okay.
resistant.
Smart.
So like if Eos like can't sit on my shoulders and doesn't burst into flames.
You wouldn't burn. You wouldn't have just like a burn hole. For
Right.
Eos.
No, he's gonna walk around with an ashtray.
There you go.
Oh.
Get him a little ashtray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Kugrum.
Cargrub.
Fargrim is wearing a navy blue checkered suit,
Okay.
two-piece. So just the
Yeah.
pants and the jacket. Underneath, he'll have a nice white button-down shirt, pretty classic, nothing too fancy, but he will have a vest that is black with gold detail on it that's somewhat a cross between a leaf pattern and a paisley pattern
Jesus, Sarah.
throughout the vest, and his mask will be black with the gold paisley pattern, probably along the cheeks and above the top, like across the top.
Okay. Cool.
He's going
It's
to
gonna be
wash his
weird
face
seeing
and
Gramps
shave.
without his
He's
armor.
going to wash his face and brush his hair for the first time in like 20 years.
Oh, I did also want to
It's
say that
fancy.
getting prepped for this, Corbin would shave off because right now he's kind of got like the chin strap kind of beard going on. So right now he, to get fancy, he would shave off the chin strap, and now he's just got a little goatee going on.
Okay.
I will
Excellent.
not shave
Alright,
because
cool.
I'm a
So-
bird person.
A couple things to note.
You're
We're
gonna
take
you're gonna molt.
Before we take a break, a couple things to note. One is while you're wearing this, you cannot wear any armor. So everybody's AC is exactly 10. Unless you have a stat boost that helps you out. Technically, if Celeste was here, Celeste would not need the armor, so Celeste would already have an unarmored ability.
I'm the same way actually
Oh, do you? Okay, so you're fine.
because of the kimono.
Also, especially for someone like Alora to spring this up, is you'll have to go through weapons check. If you want to try to hide weapons, you'll have to give me a sleight of hand check. If for some reason you fail, you'll immediately be booted from the party. So think about it if you want to hide and take the gamble on if you can actually sneak them. Take into account, depending on how you hide them, depends if I give you regular or disadvantage. If they are hidden, Alora, yours are probably hidden in your boots, you'll get regular. If someone else has something, and it's like a little more obvious, like I'm just going to put like a sword in my shirt.
Like my
It's at
great axe, I
disadvantage.
just have tucked to
Right.
the back of my pants.
Right. My bow on the back. Yeah.
What I have a question though. What about or you know how like royalty would normally carry an ornamental kind of weaponier, but it would be tied? Would that be okay?
Since none of you specifically requested a role that would have had you to wear a weapon,
Oh, sure.
then no. If you would have
Okay.
Am I
requested
not
a
coming
role
in
where
as
you would
the
have had that,
champion?
No, you're not. You're
no,
not
you're
coming
not
in
coming
as.
in.
Or is
Okay.
NG is the sword master?
Well, NG's sword is his pack sword, so we can make it come and go at will.
Oh.
Well, NG is the bartender.
Yeah, and she is
NG's
a
the bartender.
bartender.
So,
Does the same rule apply for my spell book? Do I have to check the spell book, or can I carry that
the
with
spell
me?
book is considered a weapon.
Okay.
For all intents and purposes, anything that can bring harm other than your own physical body is checked up upon release. If you can somehow prove that the spellbook is not offensive, you can definitely try for an argument, but
Okay.
it's totally up to
This is my emotional support spell book.
you.
So,
We're
Can
gonna
I find
take about an 8-minute break. If you guys want to think about it during then, go ahead. But we're gonna take an 8-minute break,
Oh.
and we'll be right back.
Elle's
No
got
one
a
go
thing.
anywhere.
Elle's got a thing.
Hold on. Alora wanted
Elle,
to do
this
something.
Oh, what's up?
If I find a spot, like a good spot to hide my dagger, would it be an advantage?
No, because they're specifically checking you, so just having a good spot just lets you
Okay.
roll regular.
Sarah,
Okay.
before you go, I'm loving the 1970s feel of Gramps. This is like
Yes.
you're like the cool uncle who's just like,
Yeah,
"I
right.
haven't
Because
changed my
it's been
Bringing
so
it
long
back.
since he's been able
It's
to
a
go
mess of
out and
life."
get fancy that he's like, ooh, pulling out all the stops. Like,
Yeah. Ooh.
So,
Little Fig over here just looks like a prince.
love it.
we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 8 minutes, so don't go too far. See you guys in a bit. All right, we're back. Before we get in, I'm just going to answer some questions from some people. So for Card Room, the Hull Forager is kind of like a legendary person in the Dwarven race. They specifically only they commit themselves to only live in the Underdark. There can only one Hell Forger in all time, and they are basically granted the power of a legendary blacksmith. It allows them to basically create enchanted weapons out of thin air without needing any materials other than the power of a demon. So legitimately, all they require is a piece of a demon of some kind, a finger, a wing, something prominent that casts their power, and they can literally turn that into an enchanted weapon that is one of a kind. They specifically live in the Underdark to essentially create a sort of balance of not necessarily good and evil, but essentially control that if people are going in the Underdark and they deem this Hellforger deems them worthy, they will enchant them with some of their weapons to essentially say, I don't believe that you don't belong here, but I believe you need to be protected. You retrieve me a piece of a demon, I will make you a weapon to protect yourself around here. They're kind of like a guardian for good in the Underdark, with a very unique power that no one else in this realm contains. The way the Hellforger works, as the Hellforger isn't a person, it's a title. When one Hellforger has to retire due to old age, or for some reason they just want to retire, they're allowed to get 1 year of retirement before their body essentially withers and dies. But during that time, they have to essentially pass on their gift to somebody else. It has to be a dwarf.
They only get a year?
They only get a year of retirement because the power themselves is attached to their soul. So their soul can only last for 1 year before they eventually just die in their sleep.
What a commentary on Social Security, Joe. I love it.
Most of them, when they retire, they decide to not just like retire and just like relax. They usually go like on a big, huge, like holy adventure. Like, I've never been able to leave the Underdark, so I'm gonna get as far as I can around the realm until I just drop dead.
Cool.
They're usually praised amongst the Dwarven community for the ability that a lot of people, like, kids wish that they could be them. Because it's like, oh, this is like, all dwarves are supposed to be blacksmiths. That's the way that they're raised. And this is the most powerful blacksmith. But as dwarves grow up and they get older, they find out that whoever gets this duty, it's almost kind of a curse. Because yes, you get the ability to be the best blacksmith in the realm, but that's all you do. That's your only purpose in this world then. But it is essentially a celestial calling.
Blessing.
It's granted by a god that no one knows. No one knows the name of the god who grants this ability, but it is a celestial calling of some kind.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I was to answer a question for Laura. The scroll that you got specifically gives you the current location. And the current location is at the northwestern tunnel, Underdark. Due north 2 miles. There is 3 warnings. One is that area is highly populated by the Order of the Fallen. That is where they usually reside. 2, to gain passage, you must get approval from the Hellforger. That is his entrance. And 3, there has been signs of 2 powerful mages in that area that have just recently moved there in the past couple weeks and have basically taken over the Fallen.
I do relay all of that information in typical L fashion of not taking a breath and saying it all at once
Okay.
to the rest of my party. I
Mm-hmm.
save everybody a long spiel.
All right, Angie, you wanted to do something with Celeste.
Yeah, I mean, so how? First off, I guess this is just a general question. How long is this party supposed to last? Like, from
So
what time to what time?
The party roughly is usually about 4 hours. It's usually about the Don basically showing off his wealth and kind of both showing off his wealth, and it's also a way of him giving money to the people that essentially say, we're allowing you to do this. We're allowing you to say you can rule this area and we won't interfere. It's allowing him to look to everybody around here, look like he's a big man and he owns all these people, but realistically, to a bunch of nobles that are coming in, they have political power and they could easily remove him from this status. So he's essentially also offering goods behind the scenes to allow him to basically stay as a dictator.
Okay.
You know, don't remove me from my throne, and I will sleight of hand you this much gold, or I will sleight of hand you this person who is under my charge, and I will put him under your charge. You know, whatever you offer, whatever you deem reasonable, I will give it to you. Basically being a small fish, but he doesn't want anybody else to see it.
All right. So I'm gonna let Celeste know that 2 hours in, just to meet me at my bar. We'll have some things to talk about.
Okay. All right. Any other questions before we move right to the masquerade? Going once, going twice. Sold. All right. So
Masquerade.
moving.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
The before you guys head out, Tartha gives you a few pieces of warning. One is due to the amount of time I had. This is quite some expensive material. Please be careful with it. You know, she kind of vaguely kind of brings up each of those pieces are roughly about 3,000 platinum. They are not cheap. Please be careful. Kind of gives each one of you your title. Mentions to Fig that Fig is a prince. Mentions to Alora, you are a seer. You are not a higher ranking seer, but you are a seer that I have kind of spread around a word that you are a seer that people very mysterious. You're gonna kind of grab some attention.
Mysterious. Got it.
Oh no.
I kind of whispered around that your name has been around quite a lot, and it's gonna kind of make you seem more approachable because it's gonna be like the only time anybody's ever been able to see you. Kind of points over to Engie. You're going to be one of the bartenders there. You're specifically going to be working behind the counter. You're not allowed to leave the counter, but it'll be giving you a good spot to kind of get any kind of information you need. Points over to Corbin. Corbin, are you the one that's going to be assisting Alora?
Yeah.
Okay, so mentions to you, your role as this is to constantly stay at her side. Think of yourself as a butler of sorts. You don't
I was thinking more bodyguard, but butler works too.
It would be more butler because you'd be a bodyguard, but realistically, as a seer's servant, you fill the handicap that she can't do because a seer essentially is blind to the real world vision because she sees what everybody else can't. So realistically, she's naive to what the real world offers. So you play as like her handicap.
Okay. I'm receiving eye dog.
Yep. See, Hal, I forgot what your position was that we were making you.
He's like a beastmaster
Acrobatic
kind of thing.
Beastmaster.
Yep, you are a beastmaster, so feel free to have your little there he is, and kind of see his little EOS popping out.
Yep.
Make sure to show him off a
will
little
be
bit. Be
perched.
warned, there are a lot of, let's say, people who are gonna want that creature skinned. So they make plenty of money of skinning some very rare creatures, so be warned, but also remember that you should not be afraid of that playing your role. Cargrim, what do you want to play as? Because we never
I'm
really
scared.
figured out what you want to do.
Yeah, I don't know. What can I just like come as a guest?
Okay, so we'll put you as like the princess, the princess, which is Fig. Princess, like essentially like
You're a butler too.
not a butler, but essentially a side guard.
I was gonna say side guard.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would
That
need a
would be
personal
better. I
attending.
think that
You are
Cargo would
still
be a
you would
bad
still play as a
butler.
noble, but you cannot be the rank of what Fig is because you do not have that specific title.
Got it.
You could say, for example, if you watch Game of Thrones, you would essentially be like the I can't even think of his name, but the oh god, I'm gonna stop that because I forgot the name of the
Hodor?
person.
Hodor.
Not Hodor, but I'm thinking of Jaime Lannister's like essential guy that reteach them how to be an actual soldier when he lost his hand.
Oh, that guy.
Oh,
You would essentially be him.
that boy. Yep. Cool.
Essentially, you are given nobility by somebody else, but you can never be the high rank.
Oh,
with
like
that.
when?
I don't-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you will keep anyone from trying to harm me.
Yep.
Pretty much.
So I stick with you. Got it. I'm okay with that.
So, reminds you all, try not to bring any weapons in. They will check you. And I have passed around a few words. Your alibis should stand. Just do what you need to do. I don't want to know what your purpose is for being here. Just do it. If you get caught, do not bring me or Krios up. And again, I do not understand why you're doing this, but if you're wearing my clothes, look good doing them. You better be strutting your stuff.
What's Ita wearing and what's their occupation? What's their role in this?
Ida actually has their own outfit, which is a long black and gray trench coat with like a Victorian vest and loose pants with long boots underneath, and essentially decide to tie up the hair a little bit differently, and is essentially using the enchantment of the mask to hope for the best that no one has an enchantment that can break it, but is also wearing a different style, also kind of like reapplied a different kind of makeup, so if someone decides to demask him, that it would look different, just in case. But all in all, is essentially just using the mask that he has as an enchantment, more or less because he refuses to take it off, and is just going for the best. So, I believe the party starts very soon. You should be on your way. As immediately as you guys go out, you see 2 carriages, each led by 4 horses, each with an actual cabin rider to actually attend to you, as each of you are separated into each one. Fig and Cargrim, you are put in one as the princess carriage. Alora and Corbin, you're put in another one as the actual Sears carriage. Hal, you and Angie are supposed to make your way in essentially kind of on foot, because Hal yourself, you are put as not anyone of nobility. You are still technically a worker there, but you do just have like a prized possession which gets you in the door. And Angie, you are a worker, so you don't really get transportation to get inside.
Power to the proletariat.
Yeah.
So
Can I talk to Corbin on our way over?
sure.
Corbin, you know how you do that thing where you can hear people's thoughts?
Yes.
Do that while I'm doing like my little ooh thing.
Ooh. Yeah. What exactly made you think this was a good idea?
Because people like their futures, and I can pretend to tell their futures. They'll want to know. It gets us in.
I mean, fair. But how am I going to get my book in there?
The book of sightseeing.
I was thinking that I could just say it's your spell book, and I'm just being a humble butler, just carrying it for you.
Say that.
You're much better at lying than I am.
I got this.
I like a lot.
Okay.
But at the same time,
I'll tell them.
if we get thrown out of the party, then what do we do?
Sneak back in.
Again, that's more of a youth skill set, not a me skill set.
It'll be fine. We got this.
That's
It'll
the
be
spirit.
fine. It'll be fine.
For the thought
That's-
thingies, I need help.
That's for
If-
future us to
If they're
worry about.
thinking about money, I need to know that they're thinking about money. So can you tap me on the shoulder if they're thinking about money?
I'm sure we can come up with some kind of code system.
Okay, and if they're
Two
thinking
tap.
about their love life, can you like just tap me in the foot with your foot?
I need to write this down, otherwise I'm gonna forget what I actually
Or
wrote.
you could
Right?
flip your tail or something. Like you could make it more settled than that. Because if you get tapped on the shoulder, that's kind of maybe just
Yeah.
hand on the shoulder would be
I'll just
better.
cough.
Just
I'll just
to
cough.
like
Oh.
to like stable you or something while you're
You know what?
singing or whatever.
I was thinking of this more, and I think I know what Fig would say, and I think Fig would say that you should probably use your tail instead of tapping, because then they would know.
Yeah, that's creative.
She's smart like that.
Okay. So tail is money.
Tail to the right is
This
money.
is so stupid.
Now, when I curve it a little bit, when I go 90, this. When I go 80, it's
When
this.
my tail does a
70 is
complete
this.
bend,
That's
When
just
it
to get
goes
to
to
know
the
me.
right, it's about money. When it goes to the left, they want to know about their love life. If you point your tail down, means they want to know about their future.
grab my tail's always pointing down.
If you put your tail up, it's like the future.
Are you looking behind you when you're doing that? Or like?
I
on
mean,
the
I'm
side?
pretty sure it's my tail. I know what direction it's going.
Okay,
I have control over my own body.
right.
Like-
Or do
But how would Elle know?
But do you? You know.
I mean, fair.
Hmm.
Speaking of-
almost
Speaking
in
of
front
which, his
me.
magic bracers are still on. Just so, like,
Okay.
I know he can't
Right.
wear armor, but if he can, he wants to wear his.
It's okay.
Bracers,
The bracers
so-
aren't. They don't apply armor. They're just decorative, as all intents and purposes. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
so Corbin, you're gonna hold my glowing ball of orbiness. I'm gonna do the hand things, and while I do the hand things, you're gonna read their thoughts, and then do the tail signal, and then I'll look at them. I'll be creepy.
I
and
just-
tell 'em
I'll
the
give you-
future.
I'll give you the side wink.
Yeah.
With your one eye. Yeah.
Yeah, with my with a mask over my face. It's great. What could go wrong?
I think that's technically called just blinking instead of winking.
Yeah, I guess I can't really wink because I only have one eye. Thanks, Laura.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. So,
The magic duo of big red and green bean.
as each group arrives, because of due to carriages, we're gonna go to the carriages first. So
I did have a quick question, sorry. Did she tell me what like race this prince is supposed to be?
she's allowing you to pick your race. She essentially thought that you were gonna. She assumed that you were picking your own race because that's what she made the copy off of. So
Okay,
she made
so
a
then
story
I'll
around
just
whatever
do
race you picked.
an elf. That makes sense.
Okay.
DM.
So, yeah.
Sorry. Because nobody really told NG's ADD asked what he was supposed to be listening for as bartender. He's gonna like ask Hal and be like, "Hey Hal, they told me to listen for something. What am I supposed to be listening for?"
I'll be
That's the
honest,
most
even as a
puzzle
DM, I have no idea why you guys are doing this. So
You'll know it when you hear it.
Awesome. Plan for all contingencies.
All right.
Cool. Got it.
got it. All right.
If it sounds bad, probably.
So the first carriage to ride between all of you is Fig and Cargrim. As the carriage pulls up, you get to the mansion. The mansion itself, actually, surrounding it, it's the only spot in the whole area that actually has grassland and a garden. Instead of going in the house is blocked off by guards, and it looks like you guys have to start. There's like a pathway that's lit up by summoned lights that actually takes you through kind of like a maze garden that leads you to the back to this giant tower that you don't even notice is there until you get closer, as it's kind of covered in fog. As you see, this tower of like 10 floors straight is kind of like embedded in the wall of this cavern that you guys are in. But you guys are walking through, and as you're going in, there's actually some music that's playing as you guys progressively make your way in.
Musica.
Ambulance.
As you're starting to make your way in, and you're surprised you've never seen this tower before, as these several floors are almost coned out, where the first floor is the smallest spot into the wall, and as it gets bigger to the top, but you can tell the top floor is where you guys are going, is more extended out as it's kind of like also implanted to the ceiling of the cavern itself. As this whole tower is just not even bashful as far as the style. It is meant to just reek of just too much wealth. As immediately you walk closer, as you see a line of 10 people before you as they're walking and taking a turn. As you can see, they're all doing the same gesture as they walk into the guard. The males just bow as they pass the ticket over to some people. The females curtsy as they pass a ticket, but none of them directly look at the guard. And it seems like they're progressively doing the same thing as they walk in. No one talks, just done the same way over and over again. Comes up to 9 people, 8 people, 7, until the person before you does the same thing, and then you two, Kargrim and Fig, make your way up.
I'll do the bow,
Okay.
but in more of a not like how they were doing it, more of how you would as an actual royal would do, which you kind of do a slight bow.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Because
do
you
the full
never bow all the way.
Okay. Okay.
Arkham's gonna start with a full bow and then see that Fig's doing like a half and just kind of like half correct himself.
Just like the others, the guard makes sure that due to the station they don't look directly at you. They just put their hands out, take tickets, and they unbar themselves from your path.
Then I walk through.
As you walk into a semi-large, probably about a 55-50, complete emptied circular room that is nothing but just a giant red velvet carpeted room. A few tables on the side, a few guards just kind of stand there. Looks like there's a couple side rooms, and then just this extravagantly placed golden inline elevator that looks like it's meant to go straight up to the top floor, skipping the other floors in the process. Completely taking turns, they're only letting one party go in each time. As you go in, you're back behind the line again. Party goes in, bellhop pulls down the trigger. As you can see, these gears all intertwined. As it starts lifting itself up to a floor, stops, floor stops, floor stops until it loses out of your sight, and then you hear a buzz. Buzz stops, the bellhop pulls back down the trigger. As the elevator starts coming down, reverses. Next party goes in, and so on.
Is it like a lever?
Yes.
Is it a lever?
Yep.
Wrong lever.
As this is going on, we'll go to next carriage that arrives. So, Alora and Corbin, as you arrive.
I did not hide daggers because I was being good.
Okay.
Happy about it, but I did not hide daggers.
You're the seer.
So,
Yeah. So I
you
guess
walk-
I come out carrying the book and the crystal ball for.
So, by tradition, as far as the seer works, the seer will always have the crystal ball on hand, but much as like a seer is almost like blind without using it, you would have to assist her while walking.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna keep my hand like on her, like a guiding.
Mm-hmm.
I keep my hand on the crystal ball as she's holding the crystal ball.
Okay. As you guys are walking, you see the same process. Bow, bow, as it's your turn. What do you do?
I bow.
I just not like I'm not Corey nor Corbin is really sure what butlers are supposed to do, so he just kind of stands there awkwardly.
Okay. As the person moves out of their way, they take the tickets from you. Seems like what you did is acceptable, and you walk in and you see a similar thing. At this point, you do see Fig and Kargrim walking into the elevator. As you see a bellhop pull down the lever, as the elevator starts lifting itself up by what seems very thick cables, pulling itself by some kind of pulley system, going up to a floor and floor until at the 6th floor you no longer see them as it passes through a floor line that is no longer visible to you. As you fall in the
As
same
they're
path.
oh sorry, I was to say as they're going in the elevator, Corbin just wants to pay attention to exactly how it operates in case they need to use it again.
Give me an investigation check.
Like just keep it.
Is there anybody in the elevator with us?
No, they only allow parties to go in at a single time. So since you're a party of 2, they're only allowing you to go in at the same time.
I just look at Cargrim and go, we'll listen for anything regarding, the Underdark and anything else.
That's a spooky 20 on investigation.
Okay. The way that you see the pulley system work as the lever is pulled from upper position and then swung down, it looks like a giant thick pulley that's very easy to see. Just grabs the base of it and just lifts it up by gears, but it's not strong enough to pull it up all the way, so it shifts from one floor, that floor gears grabs it, pulls it up to the next one until it finally gets up to the highest floor, attaches to that gear, people get out, and then all the gears release as it slowly but surely uses the pulley system to slow itself down so it drops back to the floor. So it goes down quicker than it goes up.
Okay.
It looks like it locks at each floor, so it looks like it could stop at each floor, but it looks like each floor minus the top floor is currently unavailable for it to stop at due to a locking mechanism that no one's allowed to go there due to privacy. Looks like the party's only allowing people to be at the base floor, which you guys are on now, and floor 10 where the party's being held. Fig and Cargrim, since you just want to keep an eye out for things, give me an investigation check as the elevator is going up.
Okay. 22.
19. So, same thing, you see that it locks each floor. The way it locks is it looks like the panel is supposed to drop down so you don't have any reason to fall between, so it's like almost like a ramp that attaches it to it. But since the doors are locked, you could technically walk off if you wanted to, but you'd only have like 2 inches to stand on. So it kind of warns you do not walk off to get to floor 10. And each one has a solid like steel door that actually just has like what looks like a spin dial lock, almost kind of like a vault. Once you pass floor 6, floor 7, 8, and 9 have different doors. They all seem more intricate, like they would maybe be allowed for party members, because instead of them being more vault-like, they are double doors, crimson styled, very expensive. It looks like maybe illustrious members are allowed to go on these floors.
These are his entertaining rooms.
Probably.
For whatever that means.
And once you get up to floor 10, the door isn't even closed. Once you get up to like 9, you start hearing the music playing as you get up in there. And you see that you have a small room with an attendee on the side and a counter, guard in the front, and behind the guard is giant curtains. As people are waiting, they are being checked for any weapons, basically saying, is there anything you must admit? And then after they're checked, they are allowed to pass the curtains. So you get up there, people pass by, you walk forward. As you approach, the guard standing up by the curtain walks up and forward, puts his hand up. Anything to admit?
No.
Okay. You, sir? Okay. Please excuse. As he kind of goes down, he starts patting each one of you. Tries to do it very gently.
I kind of look like disgust that there's a peasant touching me.
I apologize. This is part of the protocol. Please understand. Checks Fig. Switch over to Cargrim. None of you, just to make sure, neither of you are going to carry any items of danger, right?
Nope.
Okay.
All of my items are like the size of me. That would be stupid.
You both are all set. Please enjoy as he opens up the curtain, and the curtain's almost like a noise suppression system. So so you could hear it through the curtain. So immediately the music is playing out loud as the band is this beautifully enchanted band of a like instruments that are made out of like silver twined with different gold strings on them. Looks like this band is like, the way they play almost you have the feel of the music also go through that. It feels like just where you're at, no matter how disgusting this place might be to you, it's enchanting. You feel just not like it changes your mood, but the music itself can drown out any bad feelings itself. The band themselves are wearing very intricate outfits. No vocals are playing, but viols, lutes and flutes, drums of different kinds are playing. And it almost, if you get close enough, you could almost see the music radiating off their instruments. The room itself is quite large, as it describes as it gets larger as it goes up. You're in a giant circular room. The furthest spot away from you enter is a whole bar that actually wraps around that half of the room. Restrooms are on left and right. You came in from the south side, so restrooms are on west and east. The whole north side is the bar. The center floor drops down a little bit, and it's where people are allowed to dance. It looks like close to the bar there's a raised up spot for someone who wants to make a speech if they need to. And there are several side rooms, like if you're at a club, where there's like large like leather tables that are kind of inwards a little bit for people to have private conversations, or just to relax if maybe their feet are a little tired. But you see everyone there of 50% nobility. You see half the group is there. They are wearing either equally as extravagant outfit as yours or way over the top. One guy is actually wearing a straight suit that is like 90% gold inlay, with the only thing that separates it is silver. Tiefling.
Straight.
What?
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
It said straight suit, and my mind immediately went to straight jacket, and I was like, I need clarification.
So I'm thinking, so what it would be it'd be dress pants, long boots, a fitted shirt underneath, and then a long trench coat that it doesn't button up, but it has about 2-inch strings that go button to button. That keeps it tied from inwards. The suit itself is gold with only the trim and some of the paisley patterns as platinum. The tiefling themselves has almost a white skin, but almost looks like they powder their skin white, so you're unable to tell exactly what color they are. Their horns curve very ram-like, where it looks like they shave off a little bit, and then they actually put on silver ends to their actual horns to give them more of an interlay, and actually pierced every 2 inches of their horns with jewelry. Their face is tattooed with almost an inlay that looks like they are enchanted with their own tattoos somehow. There's another person that is human, but is wearing what like almost looks like they're wearing like a riding outfit. The very high boots, the fitted vest, long collar up, big tie, but it looks like the way that they're dressed is they're a little bit more of a stronger athletic build. Got a couple people next to them, looks like they're maybe a noble birth, and they got a couple bodyguards, but the bodyguards are the exact same style as them, including their facial structure, as if maybe they're the older brother who's born of noble birth, and the 2 other twins have to be the bodyguards since they weren't the firstborn. You see just extravagance all over the place. You thought that you were dressed to impress, and you came to the ball not terrible, but you can now see how over the top some people can get.
Makes sense. It's masquerade.
At this point, Allura, Corbin, you make it way to the top floor. You see the gentleman at the curtain. Please hold it there. Anything to admit?
No,
Unless you want
Corbin's
to
just gonna do the
fight
butler
your
thing
dad.
and let he's just gonna let Allura do most of the talking because he's supposed to act like a butler, and he has no place speaking out of turn when he's not being addressed.
Sure.
So he's just gonna keep his eyes like averted, like he knows he doesn't belong here, but he's here for her.
Okay.
And while she speaks, he's gonna use thaumaturgy because that's just like a tiefling magic that he like an eternal magic. It says that I can use It says one of the effects I can do is ominous whispers. So while she's speaking, I'm gonna just have ominous whispers, just like much like campaign 3 of Critical, like with Lana, like how they do
As
the
like a slight echo of the voice.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like this.
Okay, so Alora, so he kind of like looks over at Corbin, kind of assumes that Corbin is the silent person, looks over at Alora, or repeat, anything to admit.
I just have my hand on the crystal ball and the other hovering above the book. And only if you would like your fortune read.
No thank you, but I must investigate, as he immediately takes like a small thing on his palm, which looks like it's like a lens that you put over your eye like a monocle, but it's placed on his palm. And as he just kind of flips it down like a lens, you can just see like a little aura just kind of gently radiate over his hand as he kind of goes over the orb. Okay, goes with the book. As it kind of turns red.
I ask that you be careful. It is written in the blood of my ancestors.
Give me a deception check.
Yes.
Can I help her by like cowering, like be acting scared?
17?
Sure, you can get advantage.
Hey!
Like as soon as she says that, like he's seen
Oh,
some
bonafide.
things
24.
as
24?
Okay, he just kind of pulls his hand back, kind of looks back at the person who's taking weapons. Fair enough. Just remember, this is not a place for battle. If you are here to be the seer, please use that only for the occupation that you're set as. But you're free to go. As you
Shamble on along with my hand on the
Okay.
the orb.
it's kind of awkwardly careen them.
Pulls back the curtain as you two see the giant room with people. You see a few other people that kind of grab your attention. A couple halflings that are wearing, like, the way that they're wearing their gowns are kind of almost draped into the ground, almost kind of like the longer the outfits are, the more status that they have. So they're kind of like draping it kind of like a train behind them, wearing these long cloaks that are kind of like, they start off as suits, but the sides of the coats actually just drag on the ground as they kind of like form into this long pointed out train. As they're walking around, as people of nobility just kind of even move out of their way as they're kind of walking through. One step, kind of head nodding, not saying anything. But each of them have a tattoo on their head. It's a circle with a line just right down the center, almost kind of like they are of some kind of celestial birth. Maybe they were born on a certain kind of moon, or just at the perfect time where they're born with some kind of noble lineage that doesn't matter of their birth, it just depends on when they were born. To the group that have not entered in yet, we are going to start off with NG.
Hey.
You are told that you do not go in through the guest entrance. There's an entrance that has a teleportation portal that leads you up to the 9th floor.
Nice. Only the highest floor for the best, am I right, fellas?
Yeah.
As you see some other people working, you seem to be the only one that is not human or elf. Seems like this place only employs humans and elves, and whether that throws you off or not, none of them seem to really care. But as each one of you are being admitted, the person who's controlling the portal, just stop right there. What's your occupation?
Bartender.
Kind of looks through the paperwork, looks through it again. I apologize. We're not used to having tieflings on employ. Please step in.
I brought my own shaker.
I love it.
Very well. Please step in. When you walk through, immediately as you step in, you immediately step into the 9th floor as if it just happens that quickly, as it was just like a blink of an eye and you're in one place into another. The only difference is as you look back, there is no teleportation behind you. You just walk through a door.
You know, I heard about this thing called the Purge. I think this is kind of like that. I'm not allowed to go back in.
As
Go
you're
ahead.
seeing different people dressed up in a similar style suit and dress, you see different people dressed up to be waiters, some other people to be bartenders. As immediately, you, come on, let's go.
I'm not the only bartender?
There's two others, but they're already like waiting. Like you're the last one to be there to be.
Okay, I'm obviously this is some mistake. I am a very
I don't care.
famous
Come on,
bartender.
go. I don't have time for this. Come on.
I'm very famous.
You don't look very famous. Come on, let's go.
Oh.
Racism.
It took a teleportation circle to
Wow.
get you up 9 floors. I can push you out the other 9 back down. Come on, let's go.
Oh no.
Okay, let's go. I'll find you later, big boy. Hey.
As you're being led with 2 other people that were in a similar ensemble as you, you are taken into a room that has a similar elevator. It has a similar elevator to what they had, but it looks like it only drops up 1 floor. Very much the style of a dumbwaiter, but it can fit roughly about 5 people in it. Right at the beneath of it, there's like a little, like a bar setup. Here's where your storage is. Make sure you keep everything clean. This takes you up behind the bar. Make sure you be respectful as he's talking to all 3 of you. But, come on. Clock's on. Get on the elevator. Time to get to work.
Do we get to keep the tips?
Whatever. Go on. Up.
Making money.
As the 3 of you, yourself, a human, and an elf, immediately lift up 1 floor.
That was
Okay,
great.
Joe. I know back in the day we used to make clips of like funny things that happened during your session, and then that kind of stopped. But
We gotta bring that back.
we do need to do that.
I totally missed what happened.
You'll
He
see it
was
later.
like trying to do
He
a
was flipping
bartender
his-
trick, and he threw it at the camera.
Nice.
It went perfect.
So you
It's
get
on brand.
Sorry.
you get lifted up, and you're like in this one little cubby, like a small little room, roughly about 10 by 10, which is hidden behind the bar. As immediately you open up a curtain, and you are unveiled into a long, half-circular bar top, which does not open on the other side, so you're secluded from the actual customers, with just an assortment that circles around the whole way of nothing but different kind of liquors, everywhere from wines, whiskeys, to gins, vodkas, anything you can think of that exists in the realm at this time. To make whatever cocktails you can think of, it is all there.
Cool.
Next up, we have Hal.
Yes.
At this point, you get there, you go into the guest passage. As you make your way up, you follow a similar crowd. At this point, most people walked in. You're with a small line of 4 people. You see that they do the same thing. They bow as a male. You walk up. What do you do?
Eos will be perched on my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and I say I'm one of the entertainments of the evening. I'm a beastmaster of sorts.
Okay. He just stands there, doesn't do anything. Still barring your path.
Okay. I will have Eos do a flip in the air to wow him.
He kind of like looks and he's a little bit impressed, but he kind of refocuses his head. Still not opening the
You're
path.
supposed to bow.
Oh. Okay. Edgy didn't bow. Whatever.
Angie went into the guest
He
pass.
played
It went through the employee entrance. You were going to
I'm
the
the hell.
Oh, I thought I was going the same way. Okay.
I am
Nope.
the Alice of this Brady Bunch.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll eventually bow to him.
Okay,
and-
so you bow. He takes the ticket from you. He steps out of the way.
Okay.
As you pass by, he kind of whispers, "It's a beautiful creature you got," and then he kind of rebars the path. As you see, the room is a little more emptier as the elevator is ready within a minute. You're able to take your way up, go up to the floor, and you get your way to the 10th floor. Gentleman who's barring the path steps up. Anything to admit?
Nope.
Okay,
Name a
he
bird.
pats you down. Did you bring any weapons with you? This is me as a
I did not.
You did not.
Nope.
Okay. Pass you down. Very good. Please keep the Phoenix in check. But you are welcome to enter. As he opens up and you see the large, lavish room of many different nobles, and now you see that everybody else sees that not only are there nobles here now, but some of you, especially Alora and Fig, would recognize maybe some competitors in the more thieving portions of your lives. Maybe people you might have looked up to, or people that maybe always took jobs away from you because they were always so good. And they're here. They're thieves that became nobles just due to the amount of things that they stole, or the amount of money they made from people that wanted to steal money from their competitors. That at this point, when they steal not to keep the things. They bring it to a noble, and they make roughly average about 500 platinum per job.
That sounds like something people would do.
Eos will probably be a little agitated or nervous when we enter in the room, because that's a lot of people that he's not used to or being familiar around. So seeing that, Hal's just gonna kind of put him in his like hand or palm or something like that, and just kind of start stroking his feathers and stuff and trying to calm him down a bit.
Okay. All right. So
As we would have been walking in the room, I would have done the whole like thing where you like hold one hand on your coat and the other hand behind your back, and you just walk. And I would be starting to make my rounds, pretty much.
To put it in perspective, you guys will not see each other too much because the room itself is roughly about 300 by 300.
That makes sense.
It is pretty large.
Big.
There's a lot of parties going on. It's gonna be hard to find each other, whether or not you guys are actually trying to. We are gonna start up with Alora and Corbin. As
we're walking through, I want to be highly vigilant of anybody that would seem interested in walking towards me. I want to note who they're with, what kind of mannerisms they have, and then I also kind of want to keep an eye out for anything regarding the hive that's below Don's house during the course of the party.
Okay, so if you want to do this as a constant thing, this will be what you're going to be doing. You can choose to give me a full, you're going to give me one shot for this. You can either give me investigation or perception.
Let's try perception.
Natural 20, all right.
20 for a 30.
Okay, so I'll let you know in a little bit how that works out, because you're going to be actively doing this as you go on. While you are walking around, someone comes up by. Miss Laura, I believe we have a table for you. If you please follow me this way, we can get you right to business. As he just kind of puts his hands out, just kind of walks you across as you see this lavish, like inward, kind of like full circular, like leather couch kind of built into the wall. As he pulls out a chair for you to kind of move your way in, there's a little spot to rest the orb on top of the table, and then you just kind of see like a small spot for Corbin to stand by, basically attending as bodyguard outside the front of it. Please have a seat, make yourself comfortable. We're not going to rush you. We're going to give you, make yourself comfortable, get yourself adjusted. We'll announce your presence in a little bit. Bows in front of you, walks backwards, and turns around and heads off. Since you're actively doing your perception check and reroll that, Corbin, is there anything you want to do?
Well, first I want to make sure, like, I want to still be within eye shot. That's not a thing. Visual range of Elle. Like, I could be standing in front of her station, but like, I still want to be able to keep contact, like physical contact, or at least so that way she can at least see what I'm doing with my, with our little deception that we got going on. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But that way she can't get like kidnapped without me seeing it, basically.
Got it.
I want to, as we're as people come in and as we're watching, it's a long shot, but I kind of want to try and keep out for anyone who matches the description of Koa.
Got it.
Because it's a masquerade, so if anyone's going to show up, if this might be a chance for him to come.
Okay, got it. All right.
So I'm specifically looking for Koa.
All right, so you can get either an investigation or a perception check to act as same thing as basically Alora, where this is just going to be your thing for a little while.
You said investigation or perception?
Yeah, you can pick either one.
13.
13. Okay. All right, so we're going to pause on the two of you. We're going to switch back over to Fig and Kagram. As you are walking around, moseying about, what would you two like to do?
I would like to not very casually go towards the bar, but in the same time account for any of the guards, count the pairs of guards that are in the room and the exits and any other thing I can see.
Okay. I'll tell you what. If you want to give me a perception, you can do it without people noticing that you're counting. If you want to give me investigation, it'll be a little obvious that you're kind of clocking the room, so you can pick one.
So, okay, my passive perception is 16. My passive investigation is 17.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you what, because they're so high, you can do either one with advantage.
Okay, so we are gonna do my investigation.
17.
17. That
Okay,
really didn't help.
So you're
'cause
clocking
the
the room and you're
advantage-
kind of looking around. You're trying not to be too obvious about it, but you're making your rounds. You can see that on each side of the bar, there's one guard. It's not really stopping people from legitimately walking into the bar because there's no entrance, like a lift to get actually in behind the bar. But it's just kind of like watching people maybe if they get too rowdy. Just more or less, not really guards, but like maybe someone who creates too much of a problem, they're not allowed to be there and they'll kick him out. Right over by the bathrooms, there is a guard on each side, probably making sure that no one decides to steal anything and then go hide in the bathroom. There is a guard on each side once you entered inside. So once you pass by, whether or not you saw them, to the left and the right on the walls when you walked in, there was 2 guards. And then there are on patrol 2 guards that are just walking around, kind of doing a opposite zigzag position. If you looked at it from bird's eye view, they would start from the bathroom on the west side, up, down, up, down, up, down until they hit the east side, and then the other way, east side, up, down until they got to the west side.
Okay.
That is it.
Makes sense. And is there only one exit then?
As far as you can tell, there is only one exit that's available to guests. You don't know what's inside the bathrooms, and based off the way that the bar looks, it looks like there might be a way to get down to the 9th floor from the bar.
Okay. Sounds good.
Pargrim's just gonna stick with Fig and kind of follow their lead because he's not too good with people.
Okay.
But his goal is to either find out how to get into the hive or where the hive is actually located. So like he'll relay that to Fig of like, hey, we should try to figure out how we can get in there to shut this shit down. But you know me. I'm not good at talking to people unless there's a drink in my hand. So I'm gonna need you to do a little schmoozing on my part for this.
Makes sense. Also, depending on how boastful this Dom is, he might bring guests if he starts talking about stuff like this. So keep an eye on hearing.
Ears open, mouth shut. That's how I'm playing this.
Yes.
At this point, anybody who happens to be watching the entrance where the elevator comes in, at this point, Ada has arrived. He's wearing his long outfit. He just walks in. He is in a different posture than used to. He's very much playing up his role. He's got his arms crossed backwards, and he's just walking with a very comfortable step. One step straight forward, one step straight forward. very much like an old-fashioned game where you don't curve your turn. You stop one spot, you turn 45 degrees, you turn in another direction, and very much doing it with a purpose. And
pivot.
What?
Yeah, that's of straight nobility. You don't curve your turns, you pivot your turns. And walking legs straight out, not like duck walk, but just having straight purpose to his actual walking itself. And making his rounds as he makes sure that he passes Fig and Kargrim, he just gives a acknowledging bow, keeps walking, confirming, just letting you know that he's there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of, as you can watch him, he's kind of walking around, and he looks like he's clocking certain things in the room. Looks like,
Which is fine.
Looks like he's just maybe getting a lay of land, but he's doing it very stealthily, and you wouldn't notice unless you were an assassin or a thief yourself.
Mm-hmm. So he's pretty much doing the same thing I'm doing, but in a different manner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pivoting, also doing
Okay.
all of what you're supposed to, but in a more relaxed pattern.
Sorry.
Because I'm supposed to be a prince. So, and I'm also an elf, and right now elves don't like many of the other races.
At this point,
Yeah, why'd you pick elf? I'm a dwarf. I
Mhm.
just realized that.
But
Like,
you
wait
would-
a minute.
It would be fine because you would be like, you are secondhand, kind of thing. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
are
Fits the
helping.
role.
It fits the role of what you would be doing because
Dwarves are lesser than.
no, not lesser than. It's more of the fact that it would make sense that an elf would have either another elf or they would have another strong, kind of person as a guard, pretty much.
Excellent. Yeah, cool. That's cool.
So,
at
Makes
this
sense.
point, music stops for a second as the gentleman walks up to the podium. Attention, please. Attention. May I have your attention? As everybody just kind of gives approach. As you know, many high nobles have arrived today, but we have some very, very important guests today.
oh, what was that?
I think someone just breathed heavy into the mic.
I was trying to
As-
stifle a yawn.
As he immediately crosses his arms, bows. I present Lord and Lady Demetest, as immediately the curtains open as you see two high elves walk in with pure silver gowns on. Male and female, obviously married, wearing large silver and platinum, almost twine crowns on. As a few of you would know, these crowns are specifically only for the king and the queen of the Elfin Empire. As every elf in the whole building, including the elf that's a bartender, immediately bows as far as their
Yep.
body will allow them to bow.
Yep, I do it too, right away.
Even the bartender just stops what they're doing and immediately puts a drink down and immediately bows, like full back, just like bowing all the way down. As they walk in, move a few steps, almost gliding with the way they walk. The male puts up his hand. Please, please. We're all guests here. Raise yourselves. As the elves step up.
Go back to proper amount.
Please, please. Points over to the music. The music continues playing. Waves on as they're moving around, and some of the people are talking to them. It's like, oh, it's a pleasure. Kind of walking by and, talking them out, and they're trying to play the common role, try not to overdo their stay. Hal, you are approached by a gentleman,
Oh, jeez.
human, big burly beard, but tied up in a way of 3 braids. The braids being tied up in gold spirals going down 3 waves. Hair tied up really high in 3 knots crossing its way down. large, huge eyebrows that almost extend up like a handlebar mustache off the eyes. Big, huge fur coat decorated in what looks like animal fur of different kinds. Steps up with a cane. Looked like it made of bone, circulated in gold inlay. Ah, you must be the Beastmaster I've heard of. It's a magnificent creature you have there, I must say.
Thank you. Thank you.
How much?
I raised him. No, not for sale. Just a companion.
Oh, please. Everything is for sale. Trust me. Anything is for sale.
Not tonight.
Give me an offer, sir. Give me an offer.
No. What was your name? I didn't get your name.
I apologize. Boris.
Boris. Nice to meet you, Hal.
It is a pleasure, Hal. That is a fine creature. I immediately kind of lifts up his hand. As underneath his coat, you start seeing something just kind of moving up, like almost bubbling up from the coat stuff. I happen to be a familiar handler myself, as you start seeing this large pure black snake with eyes crimson red just sliding up from the actual sleeve and almost curling around the hands as he immediately just starts moving with the gestures of his arms. As it almost looks like the snake is just staring directly at you as it's moving around. Like the body is slowly curving around him, and he is unfazed by the way the snake moves around him. But even though the body's moved around, the eyes keep peering at you. You sure there's nothing I can do for you? Something, even a favor. Everyone has a price.
Not tonight. That's a magnificent creature you have.
Ah, thank you. She
Sure,
has been with me since birth.
Oh, really? Eos, I hatched myself. And
Eos.
we are, yes, named after like the god of the sun.
Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes. So we are very close. He is like a son to me. So.
As you can tell that Eos is almost like Eos is playing a good game, but you can feel the shake of Eos's
I
claws
just
against
keep
your
patting
skin.
him. Yep. This is probably kind of close to me, and I just keep patting him. And, because on the inside, I'm kind of freaking out, but I'm trying to put that safe face a little bit. So I'm just like, oh yeah, sure. Try to knock him off a little bit.
You're game facing.
Yeah.
As he looks at you, it's like, well, you're a good man, always keeping the familiar up close. I don't think I could ever get rid of my prized possession here, as the snake keeps curling around his arm, and you can now see a length of this snake, as the snake itself, it is twirling around his whole body fully and all the way down to his leg, as you couldn't even imagine how long this thing was extended out in a straight line. But he's taken it as it is the most comfortable thing to him. As the snake then unravels from his arm, and he just puts out his left arm, as you see each finger has about 3 loose rings on it, each decorated in different styles. No single style matching the other. Some of them are gold, some of them are silver, some of them look like maybe pirate in design. As he puts out his hands, as you can hear the jingle of the rings on his bones and his skin. Well, it's a pleasure. As he puts out his hand for a shake.
Sure, I'll honor his handshake, and I will shake his hand, and I will say, just trying to follow up a little bit.
Okay.
I go in and I say, one Beastmaster to another, as one does. I'm looking for a little inside information. Do you know anything about Hell's Manor or the cult of the Fallen?
Ooh. A man after my own heart, the Fallen. Well, if it's business you want to talk, kind of lifts up his cane and points it over to a booth that's available on the west side. Business must be talked amongst drinks. And it is not formal for us to have drinks in business amongst so many decorated people. Please.
Absolutely.
Take your time. I'll go make us a table. Feel free to join me whenever you wish. As he bows to you, the snake just kind of looks at you with a glare, and then he walks off. We will see you soon. As he walks out, even though he does have a lip, he kind of moves the cane ever so slightly across the floor, using it as almost like, even though he's got so much rich items, the cane almost seems like the second most precious item to him next to the snake itself. as he's walking
Gotcha.
it with such pride. Compared to the rest of the people, he has almost like a obvious stolen wealth. Not necessarily a pirate in any right of the word, but clearly everything that he has was taken from somebody else.
Sure, he
Whether
fought
that is
for it.
yeah,
He
whether
earned it, yeah.
he straight up stole it or he took it
Yeah.
off a corpse.
Mhm.
The outfit itself is the only thing that looks like it was bought outright. But obviously, when you steal that much stuff, you have money. So that's probably the only thing
Yeah.
he bought outright. Everything else about him looks like he is man who is not afraid to murder somebody for the kicks.
I felt that vibe. Yeah.
As he
so
walks through,
guard your loins, pretty much.
as he walks on through, you eventually see that he doesn't make a direction to the booth, but he starts talking to other people, and you can see he's conversing.
Sure.
See one man that he's talking to, making a business deal, puts his hand on his shoulder, kind of whispers something to him as they're kind of making a secret something. Then he walks off as he kind of pats him on the shoulder and moves onwards, and so on and so forth. NG.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yo,
many
thanks.
people are now joining the bar. After the opening champagne is finished, people are starting to head to the bar to get themselves a cocktail of choice. This being a very extravagant place, there is no theme cocktails. It is whatever anybody wants, and you better know how to make it.
Sure.
You can see the other elf bartender is immediately working with some customers. It seems like maybe they went left first as you're in the center. And immediately some of the crowd that can't get to the left, they start coming to you next.
Cool.
As you start seeing a crowd of several people start riding up into the direction as you are basically in control of 20 booths.
Awesome. My name is Carmelo. I'm a famous bartender.
I like Jello.
And I like Jello.
Hey.
I'm here all week.
As
So DM, the
Yeah.
like the mindset that NG's going into this with is one, trying to be the most flashy, performy bartender, doing all the cocktail
Oh, you're not-
Tom Cruise.
Okay.
You're not
things
gonna
that he
throw
can
it
do.
again?
That was not in character. that was me. And then the other thing he's gonna do, because they didn't tell him what to listen for, is like any of the conversations with the patrons that he's being chummy bartender to, he's just gonna keep an ear out for either things about I don't know, the plague, or like things surrounding the plague, or about wealthy Asimar families.
Okay. All right. So first off, give me a performance check with advantage to first see if you can dazzle the crowd.
You got this.
You got this. Come
I hope I
on.
do. Oh, good. 18 plus 9, 27.
Okay.
Nice.
Woo!
Using some of your tricks up your sleeve, you are doing spins, flips. You are way better than what you're doing now. You're doing a lot of different tricks. You're making drinks. You're impressing people with your knowledge of drinks that are even exclusive to their lands that maybe you shouldn't know. As you're making all these different things that even maybe is impressing yourself that you're doing this on the fly. Give me a perception check with advantage because you got a good performance check just to listen into the crowd.
Perception. 16.
16. Through the music and all the hubbub going around, you're trying to listen to orders, attend customers, but also try to listen into private conversations. Through this time, you grab a couple things immediately that you were looking for. One, not necessarily about maybe what you wanted, but conversations about the plague in other sense. You're hearing that gentleman's talking to another couple, almost kind of like in a business agreement. You know, I have a couple hefty sum. If you can take me that spot and you can show me that pool, I can definitely make a couple few creatures off that plague. Oh, but that is exclusive. We cannot just share the creation with everyone. All Mother. must choose who gets to use the pool.
Okay. That guy, I am gonna make his drink taste like poop if he comes for a drink later, by the way.
Okay. What was the other thing you were looking for?
Either things about the plague or things about any wealthy Asimar families that may be either in attendance or in the periphery of these people.
You don't hear anything about Asimars. Well, let me see. Maybe. Let me see. Evens, yes. Odds, no.
Mhm.
Odds. So no, you do not hear anything about a wealthy Asimar family or any Asimars in general. As maybe you look around, you notice now that Asimars you're not seeing too much of here, or maybe if you do, they're kind of hiding this aspect that maybe they are Asimars.
Okay.
Especially since Asimars necessarily don't stand out since they are human in nature. And unless they have the born tattoos, they can look generally just like humans. So it's kind of hard to tell. But after a few more minutes, you do hear another conversation with another group. It seems like a total of 4, 5, 6 ladies kind of coming back and forth, having a few drinks, letting the alcohol kind of loose up the lips a little bit as they're talking, mentioning, my husband the other day was talking. No, I shouldn't. No, he was talking the other day about all those creatures in the Underdark, and he said that we could actually just control them. And I didn't believe it at first. No, you're right. He showed, my lord showed me the other day too, and it was amazing. They took what cursed us back in the day, and they've enslaved it, made it their own. And one of them says, yeah, I don't know if I want to go into, if I want to agree with my husband about this, but it seems like it's a really good deal. It's protection. I mean, if favor is going to go to the Empire's side, it's best to get protected where we need to, and if they're going to use the plague to their advantage, why not be on the winning side?
Okay. No. Okay. That actually that triggers NG. Actually, that's not what he wants to hear, because enslavement of Plagueborn is the reason that he kind of did what he did back in the day. So he doesn't like that.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming we're still really new into the ball here. We're not up to the 2 hour.
I'd say it's roughly about half an hour at this point.
Okay, no, so I'm gonna be biding my time. I'm gonna keep my eye on those Karens as well as
those Karens, nice.
as well as anybody else around them. But
Karen.
Oh, that was
but
good.
also, I will be collecting tips at the end of the night because of my performance. So I'm just putting it out there.
Okay. So far, I would say you've made roughly about. Let's go. Let's see. Because you got a good performance check.
And they're rich.
Natural 20. So I'm gonna say you made 40 platinum so far.
What?
Damn.
That's because
been
you hire the
rolling.
best. You don't hire the rest.
Back up to Fig and Kargrim. As you're walking around, you're listening into a few things as you're moving around. You are talking to a few people. Some of them have introduced themselves to you as being nobles. One comes up to themselves. You see another elf, obviously high elf, very pointed up ears, wearing a very tidy suit, cravat on the actual neckline, very large, big, huge, blue suit, white shirt, large cufflinks, very much being bold in style, with a couple females at his side. I don't believe we've had the pleasure. Reaches out his hand.
I bow and take his hand. Well, I nod and take his hand.
I shakes, just nods back to you.
Where do you come from?
Oh, I am.
What parts?
I'm Burlock, and I am from the town of Serlac over in the Empire. And where are you from?
The mountains, high in the mountains.
Oh, fascinating. I have not made my way there. What brings an elf of yourself, of your stature, to this lavish ball?
We've heard, many things. Obviously, we have spoken to the mountain dwarfs, and we've heard things, and we wanted to check them out of our own.
Yes, it is. There is quite some wonders around here. I myself.
I would agree.
I myself arrived not 2 days ago, and I must say, kind of whispers to you, between you and me, I had to keep a little quiet. I didn't want people to know that I arrived so early, and there's such rumors about the mazes around here that I just had to get a look of my own, and I gotta say, it does not disappoint. All the cults around here and all the different things that they do, almost as if what you find horrific, he finds as a history expedition. As like a rich man, just like, oh, I gotta see what the common folk are doing, kind of thing like that. It's just so fascinating, don't you agree?
It is very fascinating, especially the amount of entrances to the Underdark that are located in this one area of this continent.
Ah, yes, it is magnificent. I mean, think of it. A nexus point where you can reach anywhere in the realm just by entering a single door. There's wonders of magic that this realm is made of.
And there is great profit with that necklace.
Ah, indeed. Ah, you know the purpose of these Underdarks. People think of them as nothing but horrific things, but yes, for one to make such income, these are of such wealth.
Have you had a chance? Have you had a chance to dabble already?
Please, I've had a few of my soldiers make their way through it. I myself am not much expeditioner. Kind of claps his hands as one of the ladies on his side step up, and she passes him a scroll. Kind of passes over to you. Please take a look at what I found. I believe that it is truly intriguing.
I hand it to I hand it to Gramps to open, and then I just kind of look at it, like read over as he has it open, because I'm not gonna touch it myself, really.
Before you can read it, he's just like too bold about it and just kind of explains. I'm sure you've heard about the traders that go through here, and I understand that they work for the peasants around here to get their goods going through, but let's just say I did a little bribing here, a little coaxing there, and let's say profits work in my favor. As you can see, a picture of a half elf, like dressed up, and it kind of puts like a contract of ownership. And it just has the name of Darvin Asselbeck.
Okay. I take note of it. I was like, so you're on official business or pleasure?
I believe that all business is pleasure. Cannot do one without the other. I do enjoy my work. But as far as me being physically here, to be honest, I'm quite vexed. I'm not quite sure why I'm here. I don't know about you, but yes, I'm intrigued by the Underdark itself, but I was not given much information other than a profitable deal in the making for arriving here. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for a lavish party, but I did have to travel several several rivers and waters to get here. As it's almost like he's expressing that even though he didn't have to do too much work, this is such a bore to him to have to do this, and it's such a stress of his time.
Well, it's unfortunate that it has become an inconvenience. I would have thought the Empire would have given you some guidance on your mission in more detail, but
I see you're quite aware. Yes, the Empire. They, kind of looks around. Maybe we should talk. You almost like you kind of like just saying the Empire has kind of piqued his fancy. Please, points over to the east side. Join me. Looks at the two female companions. You two. Lift your feet. Let's move. As he starts walking towards the east side of the place.
Before you left, I would say, in 5, I must make my rounds.
Very well. I will see you in 5. And then they start walking off. As they look like they're not allowed to physically look at him, they must constantly always be like bowing in his presence as they're walking constantly angled downwards.
Pretty much they're his slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I look at Corbin and I'm like, So, and I just kind of nod. I was like, so it sounds like, and whisper it, so it sounds like that the Empire is trying to make a play.
Interesting.
It'd be interesting to hear if there's any more details.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep moseying along. We'll eventually go back to the dude after we make our rounds, but I'm gonna make him wait a little bit because I am a prince and he is just a noble.
To Alora and Corbin. It's about a few minutes before you assume you're going to be alerted that everybody's there, but during this time you've listened into a few things that you picked it out. Mannerisms, few pieces of information that really stuck out to you, that if you had the kind of a sense, your ears would tingle to the certain things. First off, you can tell that most people are not bashful about the truth around here. They will say it straight up in front. What they're hiding is the business deals. It seems like 50% of them are secretly working for the Empire, even though they live in kingdom capitals. The elves live in the elven capital, but half of them here work for the Empire secretly. Humans here work in the human capital, but work for the Empire secretly. Anyone of other races seems to be here due to an unknown reason. Some of the elves are here to an unknown reason. They feel like they are not unappreciative of the invite, but it seems like they've been all randomly invited for some great deal of business. Couple things you have figured out that really grab your attention. First off, be ready to write this down because there's a lot of stuff due to the rolls you guys got.
All set.
Okay.
Someone take notes for me too, please. I don't have a notepad.
First off, you hear someone, specifically, it's 2 people, a male and a female. Unknown if they're married or not, since you're kind of keeping more of an ear open instead of looking. Very grisly voices, maybe Goliath, talking about hunting a werewolf in the Underdark. Talking about a rare find. Not only if it's not that a werewolf is a rare find, but this werewolf is one of a kind. They're almost talking as if they are like the Kraven the Hunter of Spider-Man in this world, where their purpose is to hunt down the rarest of creatures, the one of the kinds. And there is a rumor of a dangerous werewolf that is one of a kind that's around here. And someone has picked up a bounty for it, and they don't care about the bounty. They want to capture it, take it back to their land, and skin it. Another piece. Excuse me. Another piece you got is apparently from a couple people that you saw, and then they went over to the side, who was 2 humans and 1 tiefling, talking about they are so excited for the prince to arrive. As they were given, like they found out information from gossip, but no one else would. Shh, don't tell anyone. But the prince is coming. Oh my god, the prince? He's so dreamy. I can't believe the prince is going to be here. He can't be here. Why would the prince come here? This is so lowly for him. This is the prince. As you remember, certain rumors were like this in the hometown that you guys were in before the prince arrived. Next, there is a group of assassins.
My peoples.
You a couple of them you recognize maybe from a previous job. You don't really know their name, but you placed them before. Not recently, but maybe when you were younger. Again, maybe inspiring that you saw before, and you're like, ooh, you know, that's what I want to do, or something like that.
Career day.
Right. And they were talking about who cares about what's on the bounty board. If there's a group that's going to make us that much money, we'll find them, we'll capture them, and we'll bring them to the Council of 9. I swear to God, I just saw them last day. They're here. They're down here. We will find them.
Sounds like a group that we have to kill.
I think that sounds like us.
They're talking.
No.
Sounds like us.
Sound like killed the assassins who want to kill us.
They're talking about the currency. They're like, think about it. They reported 7. That's 1,000 gold apiece. Not enough for us to retire on, but think of how much favor we could get with the Council of the 9. We could get our rap sheets just taken off if we decide not to take the money.
Joe, I think I was muted when I asked this, so sorry. Is this all of us just kind of hearing it just generally, or
No, this is just Alora and Corbin hearing this.
Cool. I'm just trying to compartmentalize.
Sure.
So, cool.
When they talk about that, you hear what the Council of 9 is. The Council of 9 is specifically a group of 9 people, each of a different race. Each of a different race. You have a Azamar, a Dragonborn.
Hold on. Can't write that fast.
Writer's cramp.
My hand hurts.
A dwarf. This is what you get for having high rolls. You're bad. An elf. A half-orc. A tabaxi. A human. A tiefling, and a triton. You know, from once you hear this, as they're talking, they bring up a bunch of stuff, but you eventually hear that the Council of 9 is a council that essentially works for the Empire, but dominates the councils of all over the realm, and they basically dictate what happens to a person who is inflicted the plague in case they broke the law. In certain cases, the Council of 9 can actually put on a hit order against the group if they broke an imperial law. If you go to the Council of 9, you're basically sent to be executed. There is no trial. You're just allowed to say your piece, and then you get killed. They are the final stand that you get. There is an occasional time, once in a while, where someone could say their piece, and they'll listen, and they occasionally get released due to some kind of reason that they were able to prove. But it's very rare.
This would be a great time if there was napalm in this realm.
Oh my god.
Last thing you find out...
Benji's thinking about it.
Last thing you find out is they're talking about the Emperor. This is a different group. Specifically, you hear the Elven Queen and the Elven King are talking. They're talking about the Emperor in very negative tone. When I'm talking about the Emperor, I'm talking about the leader of the Empire. They're talking about, how dare he rule this world? Where did he even come from? We do not see any books about his lineage. As far as we know, he had no money. What gives him the right to be this way? What gives him the right to control such an army? Where did he even get this army from? I have no idea. He has no money to his name. This castle of his just appeared overnight. We cannot figure it out. I thought you said that you were going to look in his... We looked everywhere. We checked out everything. He is a human that has no history. As far as we know, he didn't exist before he became an emperor. Well, as long as we're here, we might as well use our... time wisely while our assailants figure out what's going on. That's all that you found out during that time.
Found out a lot.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, because you got good rolls.
I could just
Right?
just hear what the debriefing's going to be back in the the inn, and it's going to be
Here. Okay.
and we're like, take a drink of water. Like,
All right.
Yeah, I'll try and
Don't
blah,
worry.
blah, blah, and blah blah blah.
You'll get a
blah, blah.
rundown.
At this point, about another half an hour passes, and you hear clapping again as the music stops. Everyone, please, it is time for your lord, our gracious host, Paris. As immediately you see from behind a robe, you see Paris immediately walks up the Don, wearing a long, overly intricate fur, long, overly lengthened coat, draping about a foot off of his height.
Oh my God, Meryl Streep.
Not wearing a shirt underneath, but mostly tattooed, and then wearing kind of like a suede pants with long boots on.
those are going to be warm.
Has his hair tied up, and now you see in plain sight what he looks like. As he is a half-elf, a lot of piercings, he's a little more rugged, kind of like, thinning hair where he kind of has to grease it back to make it look pretty. Constantly has kind of a little bit of a burn on his side from smoking too many cigars off of one side of his cheek. As he steps up, everyone, as he kind of has like a very grisly cough to his voice. I thank you all for coming. King, Queen of the Elves. As even they bowed to him, almost looked like disgustingly so. Your patronage is most appreciated. And he points over as no one saw that the actual, not the king and the queen, but a lord representative of the human empire, of the human kingdom. I see a representative of the human kingdom has arrived. Pleased to have you here. I'm sorry that the king and queen could not show their faces, as he kind of gives a grisly look too. I appreciate you all for joining. Please, drinks, food, enjoy yourself. Points over to Allura. If I understand right, we have a beautiful seer available at your beck and call. Please, make a line. Let her see into your every deepest desire and soul. Remember, here, no secrets leave this place. Execute business as you'd like. But remember, this is for fun entertainment.
Oh no, Amanda can't hear us.
Oh no.
Or is she trying to have us hear her?
6 of one, half a dozen of the other, maybe?
Can you hear us? Oh wait, she took her headphones off.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
My tail switches to the left.
Yeah.
Tail to the
Hello.
Oh no, we can't hear you.
No.
Can you hear us?
No.
We
Yeah,
almost
she can hear
made
us.
it.
Okay, she can hear us.
Looks like we almost made it.
We almost made it. Yeah, right?
Is there a
No.
headphone stack?
No, I think it's got to be something with the Discord probably
Or
again.
there might be like a driver issue that she's having.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
maybe.
might.
Sometimes.
If she wants to, you should bring your computer this weekend so we can look at it.
I don't think she can hear us either. So
Oh,
Oh,
can
hey,
you hear us?
thumbs up if you can hear.
Jordan?
Thumbs up if you
Nope.
can hear. Nope.
Oh.
Can you hear us? You
Okay,
can.
she can hear
all right.
us.
Well, we'll go through a little bit further, and we'll just kind of do a little more story stuff, and then we'll just do it to be continued.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, as he
Someone's saying in the chat that she should bring her computer this weekend so we can check if her drivers need to be fixed.
she can hear us.
She got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can
Okay.
hear us. Yeah.
Just
So
might have to do a reset.
So it's like, enjoy yourselves, as he immediately bows to everyone, as he immediately takes up this big fat cigar and immediately lights it up and starts smoking a big cloud around him as he's walking around. As he's got a couple guards to his side. One happens to be Anessa, and the other one is Krios. Each taken to his side as bodyguards, as his normal bodyguard is absent. As they're walking around, shaking some hands, giving patronage, you do see that eventually a hidden door is now revealed as he starts making away, and a few other people, not kings and queens, but random people that walked around start heading off. And if you're looking for it, it's not obvious, but a door kind of, it's like a false door as he pushes it in, and they start going into another room that you see as a staircase that leads down, as the door itself closes behind. Because, unfortunately, Laura can't speak, we're going to go ahead a little bit, and we'll come back to it for next session. A few minutes pass by. Immediately, music stops again. Everyone, please, silence. We have a surprise guest. As he immediately bows. Prince. Oh, I forgot what his name.
A boo boo of a Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Sally.
Zimbabwe. Prince Zimbabwe.
No.
Fabulous tea.
Prince Rivas Sarah, as immediately you guys recognize the prince from when you saw before. Walking in. No one willing to check his weapons as he's still holding his rifle on his back, two sidearms on each side of his long cloak. As he didn't bother getting dressed up for this, as he's always wearing his military garb. Walks in with a tall automaton and two soldiers at his side.
Okay, I see you.
As he immediately walks in, bows, please. I'm here as a humble patron. No need to grovel. Everyone, stand. Stand. As even the king and the queen bowed in front of you. They all stand. I'm here just on business. You there, as he points over to the one who just introduced him. Sir? Where's your Don? Almost like he's not allowed to say where he is. Where is the Don? And he kind of points to the false door. So looks back at the soldiers. Stay here. As him and the automaton keep moving further forward. As they're talking, you now recognize the voice of the automaton as the voice of the person who sent the robotic dragon after you when you guys were down in the pits.
Ah, beans.
Typical.
Tall automaton. Roughly about 6 feet tall, humanoid in structure. Legs, arms, torso. Inlaid eyes, silver in point. Wearing a long draped suit, covering body, trying to be as humanoid as possible. No shirt underneath, just wearing the vest, draped down, pants, boots, and a long coat. With a long, what almost looks like a rail gun on his back.
Nice.
As he's walking in, Ravis just stops at the door. The automaton walks in. Since you guys technically already know his name, because you guys were told his name, the automaton, in case you guys do not remember, is Renard Tafton. He is one of the 4 lords left that you have not technically met.
Oh. Oh Lord, this guy's like Howard Hughes, isn't he? He just puts his voice into robots.
No. Okay, so everyone give me a history check.
Lord.
DC is 15.
Nope.
I got a 16.
16. Carbon got 19.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
What
So
was the automaton's name again?
Renard Tafton.
Bernard.
Renard starts with an
Oh,
R.
Renard. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it would be cooler if it was Bernard. But
No,
sorry.
Renard.
That's
I
fine.
know, Renard is a pretty cool name, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Remind him to
So
rest.
for the people that got 16 and a 19, you know Renard as one of the 4 lords. Renard is obviously not born. He was created. He was specifically created by the Empire. Most of his information is not hidden. It is pretty much public knowledge, but you would actually have to look it up to figure it out. He is one of the first automatons created for this realm. He is basically a Dr. Frankenstein story. He was the first automaton created, and he's the one who creates all the other automatons. The rifle and all the weapons that have been created are solely his creations. Everything that is made in this world that's tech is solely created by him. Think of him as the only artificer in this realm. He is a genius, and he specifically only serves Revis. He does not serve the Emperor, as he was Revis's creation. All intents and purposes, an automaton like him should not exist, and no one understands how he's actually created the way he is, because he acts as if he actually has a soul. He actually controls the island that used to be the Pirate Kingdom. That's his domain.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, our characters kind of destroyed that island back in the day. Not our characters from this one, but the previous campaign. We kind of destroyed them. Yeah.
He follows a very much a Frankenstein storyline where anybody that is arrested by the Empire and half of them disappear, and it is rumored that they are taken to his island and experimented on for whatever purposes he desires.
So he's Dr. Moreau meets RoboCop.
Kind of. Think of him as Dr. Frankenstein creating more Frankenstein monsters.
Sure.
Well, that was my Dr. Moreau comment,
Yeah.
because Dr. Moreau just is like, yeah.
Anybody who is actively watching them go through the door, you can give me an investigation check or a perception check at the door. Oh, Fig with the 22.
Holla!
Holla, holla, holla. Alora with a 20. Cargrim with a sad 6.
Close the door? No.
Okay. So our assassins noticed that when the door was opened, there was a ventilation system that follows through the steps. It is unguarded and it is exposed. It looks like it's a way for the air to circulate from outside the area in here and constantly go through a heating duct. It is roughly 4 feet wide, and as far as if you decide to crawl through it, you would have about 4 feet of height to crawl through.
So it's inside the door, right? Or is it
It's
by
above
the
the
door?
door. It's above the door.
Above the door.
It's above the door, and the way that it looks like it curves, because when you watch the staircase down, it's a vent that follows the staircase downwards.
Mm.
It looks like it might be the single ventilation system that goes to the whole building.
Interesting. Is
That's where we're
this
gonna- oh.
hidden? Oh, I was just gonna say, is the hidden door in a area that's like shadowed or no?
Yes and no. So the way that it works is it's kind of hidden in plain sight. So in the left and right corner of the room, there is the way that it's angled. Instead of being completely circular, they kind of come in at a point.
Mm.
The door is in those points. So
Oh,
they walk
okay.
in there,
Makes
they open up
sense.
the door. It kind of looks like they're coat closets, but it's actually a door that leads you inwards, and people just don't notice it. They just like, we're nobles, we don't need to like feel the walls and stuff like that. So they walk in there, they don't walk out. Before we end it, we're gonna leave it off where everybody to remind everybody where they left off. So next time we come back, I will introduce Alora for the seer. Hal, don't forget that you got to talk to Boris. Fig, don't forget that if you want to, you got to talk to Asora.
Mm-hmm.
And Angie, you figure out what you want to do with all the Karens.
Oh, I know what I'm doing with all the care.
Karens!
Karen!
It's a
Karen!
Before we, just because I had to run to the bathroom when it was going on, I do want to say that while we were setting up, while I was helping Alora get set up with her little station, that the two of us made a silent bet, and we have a bet going about who's gonna mess up this mission first.
Okay.
And then I also set up a tip jar on the side.
Okay.
I'm poor.
Okay. Got it. So that's where we're going to end it for tonight. It is a little later than we usually go, so we're going to end it there, and we'll have Masquerade Part 2 next Wednesday.
More masks for next time.
Thank
Yay!
you for everybody for watching. Thank you for following, and we will see you next Wednesday. Have a good night.
Yay!
Alright.